former head of the cartel, known as El Chapo.
Attorney General Merrick Garland says Chinese and Guatemalan citizens are also indicted, accused of supplying chemicals to produce fentanyl. Several defendants have been arrested and are being detained outside the U.S. The DEA says most of the fentanyl trafficked in the U.S. comes from the Sinaloa cartel. Drug overdoses accounted for 107,000 American deaths in 2021. In Washington, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The 21-year-old Air National Guardsman from Massachusetts who allegedly stole and published classified information will remain in federal lockup, but lawmakers on Capitol Hill are wondering why he was given such high clearance at the Pentagon anyway.
There's a concept in classified information called need to know, and they haven't demonstrated why this individual had access to something that he didn't have a need to know.
California Republican Congressman Darrell Issa, DOD employees are now being told not to download or print sensitive material. 2 more NBA teams will find out tonight if they go to the playoffs. It could be either the Chicago Bulls or the Miami Heat or the Oklahoma City Thunder or Minnesota Timberwolves. They all play tonight. And in Major League Baseball, if the Tampa Bay Rays beat the Blue Jays in Toronto tonight, their record will be 14-0, and that'll be a new record. Stocks have been pretty far off today. The Dow still down around 200 points. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Why so many schools were closed. Sunny and 78 degrees downtown. Nothing on your radar, but there is a slight chance for rain tonight. The low drops to 56. I'm Harrison Silcox for Stockyards Bank. Here's what's trending at 3:02. You might have heard about bomb threats being made to several school districts in Indiana this morning. John Herrick reports on what police know so far.
Many school districts either closed for the day Friday or went to e-learning because of the threats. At this time, they haven't found any suspicious or explosive devices in any school in Indiana.
But however, the investigation is continuing into the origin of this threat.
State Police Captain Ron Galavis says troopers throughout the state have been working with schools in their area to offer help. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A triple shooting in the east side of Indianapolis this morning. 2 women are dead.
Preliminarily, what we do know is that we believe that there was forced entry onto the residence. Unknown amount of people then entered the residence. We believe it was more than one.
Sergeant Janae Cook with IMPD. She says a teenager was also badly hurt when the shooter opened fire at a home near Brookside Park. Police are now looking for their suspects. They believe more than one person may have been involved. Governor Eric Holcomb was at the NRA convention downtown this afternoon.
And our safety. Ladies and gentlemen, you won't find a place in America more supportive of our Second Amendment than here in Indiana.
Former Indiana Governor and Vice President Mike Pence took the podium next.
As long as there is breath in my lungs, I will stand with you to ensure that the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Pence was critical of Democrats who are pushing for gun control laws in the U.S. It's supposed to get chilly soon.
For Sunday night into Monday morning, where we can get down to, the mid-30s, especially up towards Lafayette and Kokomo and points north. The metro area will likely remain in the upper 30s to near 40.
Cody Moore with the National Weather Service says there could be heavy rain and thunderstorms at times Saturday and Sunday, but then it'll start to warm up into the 70s next week. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
What would you do with a little extra cash? Quick getaway, organic fruits and veggies, mini shopping spree? It's all possible with Stockyards Bank Extreme Checking. Earn 4% annual percentage yield on balances from $1 penny to $10,000 by doing things you already do every day. Just swipe your debit card at least 10 times a month on purchases of at least $5, set up a direct deposit, and enroll in e-statements. Splurging is easier with Stockyards Bank. So what would you do with a little extra? Visit syb.com/extreme to learn more today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
With traffic at 3:04, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, inbound 69, stop and go 96th Street down to 82nd. And eastbound 465 is starting to load up from Keystone over to Allisonville Road. Southside eastbound 465, stop and go around Man. Traffic sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Stores provide innovative products and services for small business, remote workers, and learners, even teachers and parents. Explore more at your local Staples store, staplesconnect.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
A few widely scattered showers around this evening and tonight. Saturday looks better now, partly sunny skies in the 80s. Sunday looks soggy. So tonight low 59, Saturday high 81. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist David James for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. Gorgeous day in Indianapolis. A beautiful weekend for a giant convention. The NRA convention back in town. Trump in town. Lots of eyes on Indianapolis, Hammer.
And it's such a beautiful day. I was outside walking around the circle before the show started. You can always tell when the weather is really good because the homeless guys are fondling themselves without their shirts on. That's how you know it's a beautiful day here on Monument Circle in Indianapolis.
And I'm not sure, I wasn't paying attention to the weather. I'm looking at my thing. I'm looking at my app. Tomorrow's supposed to be sunny and 80. So lots of people spending lots of money in our city this weekend. Welcome, NRA. We are glad you are here.
Some big names in the political world making their way to our city. Mike Pence spoke earlier today at the NRA convention. Of course, Donald Trump is here, which means security is ramped up. But he's not the only one. There's a long list of high-rolling politicos that support the Second Amendment that are in Indianapolis this weekend.
Didn't we get yelled at? Didn't somebody on our staff get yelled at for trying to go somewhere the last time the NRA convention was in town and Trump security was outside? And was that our producer that?
So that wasn't the NRA convention. That's when Donald Trump was meeting with Mike Pence to announce him as the running mate.
Oh.
And it was in the back alley of the Conrad. And Kurt Gerald's, who was a producer for Tony Katz, walked outside just to see what was going on, and Secret Service almost eliminated the threat.
That is the not effing around squad right there when it comes to protecting their assets.
Right.
What was it? Get back effing in there or something like that. Get back in there.
Like, I've never seen so many people draw for their weapon at the same time in unison. It was like it was an Olympic sport. But yeah, man, it's a big weekend here. And speaking of Donald Trump, a new commercial from the MAGA Super PAC. Technically, it's not a Donald Trump paid ad, but it's from a Super PAC group that supports Donald Trump. And you know damn well he's given 2 thumbs up to it. The MAGA PAC has this new commercial out ripping Ron DeSantis for a number of different things, but mainly because I guess he eats pudding with his fingers. Have you heard this story?
Yes, it was out of the Daily Beast. I don't know that I believe it necessarily. When was his article written? Boy, this was written in March of 2023. The rumor is, enshrined in DeSantis lore is an episode from 4 years ago during a private plane trip from Tallahassee to D.C. in March of 2019. DeSantis enjoyed a chocolate pudding dessert by eating it with 3 of his fingers. A spoon, Governor? No, thank you. I got it handled.
I don't know if this is true or not, but I want it to be true.
It makes me want to vote for DeSantis. So they put out an attack ad addressing this?
Right. This isn't some sort of bit that we've done. This isn't a Hammer and Nigel Productions bit. This is an actual paid Super PAC ad attacking Ron DeSantis.
Ron DeSantis loves sticking his fingers where they don't belong. And we're not just talking about pudding. DeSantis has his dirty fingers all over senior entitlements.
Jeez.
Like cutting Medicare.
Now pause that for just a second.
We don't listen to the whole thing.
And throughout the entire video, the actor that they've got playing the DeSantis role, he's got 3 fingers in the pudding, and he's sticking them in his mouth, and it's really gross.
And there's pudding all over his lips and chin, like he was a messy pudding eater.
Right.
Although I have to assume if you're eating pudding with 3 of your fingers, it's going to be messy. That part of the commercial may have been accurate in terms of the messiness of the pudding when you're putting it when you're shoving it in your mouth. I had no clue. It was out of the Daily Beast. 2 sources familiar with the incident said Ron DeSantis enjoyed chocolate pudding on a plane ride by eating it with his fingers.
And I wonder where they found that actor. Like, does Variety post the ad looking for DeSantis lookalike to eat pudding with his fingers? Apply within. Like, and how many people applied? Who got turned away? Who wasn't good enough for that ad?
It's already getting dirty, man. DeSantis hasn't even announced he's running. They're making these PACs are making commercials about him eating pudding with his fingers.
DeSantis will have a video message to the NRA convention here in Indy. Will not be here in person. But you will see some protesters downtown this weekend.
Really? Are you sure about that? I was talking to my dad earlier today. He was already wandering around. He said he didn't see anything. Now, I don't know what that means for this weekend. I don't know what it means. It's going to be a nice day out Saturday. I do know in 2019 when you and I did a live broadcast outside of the convention center, it was minimal.
Yeah, but there was some.
There were some, and there was it was a fenced-in area across the street from the convention center.
Right, the designated protest area.
Yes. There were, like, giant trucks were. I think they put some semis there to actually block that area off or something like that, so they couldn't even see.
So don't be surprised if you do see some protesters. I don't know the level of angst, though. As much as everybody on the political left wants to bash and rip the NRA, I don't think they actually want to confront the law-abiding citizens of the NRA. That's not who the Antifa folks or the super progressive woke political left goes after. They only go after people they know they can bully around. That's not the NRA crowd. So in honor of all of the super woke progressives that actually are going to come downtown to Indianapolis for the NRA convention, here with a special musical tribute to those who live and die all things woke, Hammer and Nigel Records presents the Wokey Pokey.
You put your feelings in, you take your logic out, you vote for Joe Biden, and you riot through your town.
Come on.
You do the Wokey Pokey and you spread your lies around.
Come on.
That's what it's all about. You bring your woke buddies in, you push others away. You learn gender studies, but you can't earn any pay. You do the Wokey Pokey, thinking you are so profound. That's what it's all about.
I love it.
You say it's Exxon's fault that the world will burn, but I notice you don't take your bike to work. You do the Wokey Pokey and you spread your lies around. That's what it's all about. You do the Wokey Pokey, 'cause you're so wokey dokey. You do the Wokey Pokey, thinking you are so profound. That's what it's all about.
There it is, the Wokey Pokey from Hammer and Nigel Records.
Love that. That's a classic. Instant classic.
Welcome to Indianapolis for the NRA convention. So, Nige, the arrest has been made in the leaked military documents. A 21-year-old who somehow, some way, found his way to get through millions, if not billions of dollars of security and firewalls to put military secrets and documents just out there on social media.
Well, as a National Guardsman, he had access to some of this stuff because of security clearances and what his job was within the military. And I think the government has a history of coming down pretty hard on people that either publish illegally obtained government secrets or download them themselves, aka Snowden, and put that stuff out there.
Right.
They don't like that.
No, they don't.
I got a bad feeling for this 21-year-old.
Especially when those messages kind of go in a different direction of what is being pushed out to the American public. Because some of the documents that were leaked were showing that the Ukrainians were taking massive amounts of deaths, like to a 4-to-1 ratio compared to the Russians.
Said China sold Russia a military jet.
And there were
they denied it, by the way.
Chatter, scuttlebutt, if you will, about United States getting physically involved in this process. So those were some of the things that got out there, and you're right. They found this dude right away. Now, the Supreme Court leaker, he's somewhere hanging out with, Andy Dufresne on that island that they went to after he got out of Shawshank. They're down there having a good time. But this kid, man, they found him right away.
Oh, wow.
Now, here's another angle to this.
I mean, there can't be that many people to interrogate in the Supreme Court. There's 12, for God's sake.
This was an eyebrow raiser for me. So NBC News is reporting that the Biden administration is now looking at expanding how it monitors social media sites and chat rooms after the U.S. intelligence fail that allowed these Pentagon documents to go online for weeks.
Yeah, I think that's partially how they were obtained with some of these chat rooms and things like that. The dark web.
But this is exactly what the political left wants, doesn't it? They want more censorship. They want to control what's out there on social media. They want to be able to watch and spy on everything that you do.
Well,
this is going to be their excuse. Nigel, we're going to follow all of your tweets and Facebook posts because, some dumbass out in Massachusetts put military documents online.
What about TikTok and the committee to ban TikTok? We all thought that was going to be all, yeah, let's go get them, ban TikTok, ban China. But it turns out that's not what that was at all.
No, as a matter of fact, they're going to be bringing TikTok influencers into the White House to help Joe Biden win re-election. Assuming he's the guy, which is a big if right there. All right, Matt Baer, what's going on?
Hammer crashed or sent to the house at this one. It's 46 at Arlington Avenue on the east side. Inbound 69, stop and go right now. 96th Street down to 82nd. Eastbound 465 slows at Keystone, and northbound Harding State Road 37 jammed up because of that 69 construction. Stop and go from Edgewood Avenue to 465. Traffic sponsored by NTT IndyCar Series. Experience the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach this Sunday, April 16th at 3 o'clock Eastern, live on NBC and Peacock. Watch the fastest cars and the boldest drivers fight to the finish line. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
This weather is beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful. 78 and sun right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Matt Baer, he's going to join us in studio next.
Yeah.
I love having Fridays with Matt Baer because, yes, we're going to yell at him when there's construction.
Sure.
Because it's all his fault, but he also sometimes takes us down a very dark path, which is in our wheelhouse. So Matt Baer will join us in studio next.
Mark Dito, the only real estate agent I trust, sell my house. He'll take care of everything. Maybe you're worried you missed a boat on selling for max price, or maybe you inherited a home and you need to unload it. Mark Dito's guarantee, he'll get your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or he'll buy it. When Samantha's dad in Fairland passed away, they needed to sell his home and estate, but wasn't sure where to start. They heard about Mark Dietel. They made it easy, handled everything with compassion and professionalism. Home sold in 1 day for cash, closed in under 3 weeks.
Mark Dietel guarantees you he will sell your home or he will buy it. Yes, that's the guarantee. Mark Dietel will sell your home or he will buy it. If you don't believe us, call him. He's waiting for your call right now. 317-755-4232. That's 755-4232. Or go to markdietel.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Do you need air conditioning service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust, like Family Heating and Air Conditioning? Find that American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
I don't like to walk downtown anymore. Only when I have to. Even during the day, there's so many out on the street, aggressive. I mean, I feel terrible for them, but at the same time, I don't feel safe. Every night, there's another story on the news. Another shooting, something violent. And it's not even in one area, it's all over the city. Just the other day, a woman was robbed at gunpoint at church. At church! I heard that so far this year, our murder rate is higher than Chicago. Chicago! I'm proud of Indianapolis. That's just not what I think of, what I think Indianapolis should be. The only thing I can think to do differently is I have to vote differently, starting now, until it gets better. So I'm going to vote for Shreve in May. Maybe Hogsett gets the message. Or maybe we get a new mayor in November.
Paid for by Shreve for mayor.
Today's kids and teenagers are facing more challenges than generations before. Culture is questioning basic, unchanging truths. Many parents are looking for direction to lead their kids and teenagers onto right paths. I'm Tina Pavey, Director of Next Gen Ministries at Life Church. We believe parents have what it takes to lead their kids and teenagers on a path that leads to life. And each Life Church campus is eager to partner with parents. For more information, visit one of the Life Church campuses or go to lifechurchin.com. Parents, you can do this. We will help you.
There's nothing more important than time. Time for you and time for family. If issues like high blood pressure or high cholesterol run in your family, make time for highly skilled heart care too. At Indiana University Health, you can book a same-day appointment with the state's most preferred provider of cardiovascular care. See a top cardiologist today, then get back to what's most important without skipping a beat. Visit iuhealth.org/heart to book your appointment today.
What if your home's title, the document that proves you own your home, is in some criminal's name? That's home title theft. Home titles are online, and once a criminal forges your signature, he'll take out loans against your home, or worse, sell it. Home Title Lock helps shut it down. They do better than anyone. Has some criminal taken over the title to your home? Find out for free and get 30 free days of protection with sign up. Use promo code RADIO at HomeTitleLock.com. Promo code RADIO at HomeTitleLock.com.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577.
Service today?
Today.
It's the NRA annual meetings and exhibits at the Indiana Convention Center, April 14th to 16th. 14 acres of the latest guns and gear. It's a freedom-filled weekend with activities for the entire family. NRA members and their family get in free. If you're not a member, join at nraam.org.
Drexel Interior's warehouse sale has tens of thousands in inventory, including flooring at 50 cents a square foot, cabinets, vanities, and more. Thursday through Saturday only, 3217 Shadeland Avenue.
I'm counting down, so turn around. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now make that booty go.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
My name is Nigel. Hammer's here. Matt Baer, our traffic reporter, live in studio with us. We do Fridays with Matt for this segment. Real quick, before we get to some of this other stuff we were talking about earlier this week, we had that story because you're a vape master, you're a vape aficionado. We had that story that Juul, that the vape company, had to settle like $400 million, like a record number with several different states for marketing to kids. I maintain that given the choice between alcohol, pot, chewing tobacco, or cigarettes.
Black tar heroin.
Black tar heroin, so cigarettes, or vape. I want my kids to vape.
That's the thing.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with everybody.
Somebody clapped back on Twitter, though, saying weed is at least, organic and herbal. Weed is better for you than the vape.
Yeah, but it can cause some psychotic tendencies sometimes if you smoke or eat a lot of it.
So let's go to our expert, Darth Vapor, here. What do you got?
And I know I just made a bunch of weed people mad, but I don't care.
Well, here it is. Okay, first off, the thing about vape, and I do look at it from an adult perspective here. Is the vaping, as opposed to smoking cigarettes, it doesn't include the tar. And the tar in the cigarettes, that's where most of your cancer-causing agents lie, is in the tar of a cigarette.
Of course.
Yeah, so when I hear people say vaping is as bad as smoking or vaping is a horrible alternative to smoking, it does not compute at all. Because why would you rather want somebody to put all their tar in your lungs as opposed to just vaping? Because vaping doesn't have that.
Man, Nigel has ticked off the weed community, but the good news is they're going to forget that he said it here in about an hour, and he's going to be just fine. So he's got that going for him. Matt, Donald Trump in town for NRA. Is that going to cause any closures or anything? Because that seems like that's a pretty big deal.
No, it's huge, and NRA is already in full swing right now downtown. Lots of people, and it's really cool. Donald Trump could really affect us at the end of rush hour here tonight. He's supposed to speak at 4:30. He's probably going to be a few minutes late, maybe around 5:30, speak an hour, and then he'll probably leave somewhere around 6:30. That's my guess right now. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be a motorcade and possibly to the airport. And just with it, you have to understand to please be patient and just kind of chill out a little bit. It's Friday, so we already have bedlam on the interstates. This whole week has just been madness when it comes to rush hour, man. It's been crazy. So just everybody chill out and take your time. You'll be fine.
All right, I'm going to run a couple different stories by you here, Matt. Want to get your perspective on this. Because as we mentioned earlier, sometimes your perspective is different than ours. You can go to a pretty dark place that maybe Nigel and I aren't quite comfortable with.
Wow.
Right.
So the Fire Festival. For those who don't remember what this was, there was like a Netflix documentary on this thing. It was promised to be this like all-inclusive resort concert where you hang out with your favorite artists and great accommodations and food, and it turned out to be a refugee camp with no bands.
It was a terrible thing that was, or it was, Ja Rule was in on this. I remember now. Ja Rule was one of the founders of the rapper hip-hop artist, was one of the founders of the Fire Festival, and all these influencers, and they like had these model influencers down taking photo shoots on this island, just looked glorious. You had these huge bands coming in. You had Dead Mouse that was going to be performing at the after party. I mean, this thing was going to be dynamite, just a monster. Well, people get down there, and it's like the Fire Festival itself is just shantytown. I mean, you just have tents everywhere. People, the
kids in cages.
The kids in cages. And the most thing people remember about it is this one photo that went viral of a ham and cheese sandwich.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Because they were promised caviar and sushi chef.
Like carving stations.
Yes, it was supposed to be like a filet and tenderloin. Cheese sandwich. That's what they got.
Cheese sandwich, no bands, and you're sleeping in a tent on the beach.
And people are robbing you. I mean, this turned into a criminal activity, this sorts of point. I mean, people were out there, they're robbing each other's tents. I mean, it was dangerous.
The organizer went to prison.
Yeah, he went to prison.
Well, he's out, and he's doing it again.
Oh, good.
Fire Festival 2 is coming to the Bahamas. So, Matt Bear, my question to you, if the price is right, would you consider buying tickets to Fire Festival 2 in the Bahamas?
Absolutely, because I want to see that. I want to see it be a disaster again. You know, that's what I want to take. I mean, who doesn't love to see influencers fall on their faces sometimes? I mean, and that's what's going to happen again. Somebody said, I'm going to give this guy more money. I don't know who these people are. But
you are. You just said you're that guy.
Well, yeah, but that's different. For the rest of these influencers that were lobotomized at one point or another, they're going to give the money. They're going to and probably be disappointed all over. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope it goes well for him, sort of.
Like maybe, just maybe, because the first one was such a dumpster fire, this one's going to be so extravagant and over the top that he can redeem himself.
Yeah.
So, Nigel, what about you?
No.
What if they promise you, Nigel Laskowski, for a reasonable price, we'll get to hang out with the Foo Fighters and Metallica and Motley Crue in the Bahamas?
Oh, wow. I get to hang out with them?
That's the promise of the Fire Festival.
Do I have to buy
now,
tickets?
The disclaimer says, bands may not be there.
You guys
no, hell no. I'm not falling for that. I mean, I bet the people that fell for that once were just miserable. I can imagine doing it twice. If you fell for it once and then you're looking at this thing and saying, oh, wow, Fire Festival 2. Oh, where do I sign up? You are a moron.
I believe it was former President Bush who said, and I quote, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, we won't be fooled again."
Won't be fooled again.
The thing about it was with this festival is people did not get their money back when they got back. That was the amazing thing. And the island locals, they were promised all this money. People working like 25-hour days, just destroying themselves to build this Fire Festival. And so many of these people didn't get paid. So I don't know how you have the wherewithal to go out and organize another one.
That's what he's doing. The guy, the organizer, said he's out of prison. He's like in some halfway house. He owes $26 million in restitution, and that's why he said he's doing this, to pay the people back.
Well, it beats up a student loan, I guess. I don't know. That's a lot of China right there. So, you know, if he pulls it off, great. He's still a crook in my mind. You know?
Matt Bear, you're the best.
Thanks, Love buddy. You guys. Thanks.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey guys, it's Abdul, and I'm running for mayor of Indianapolis. You see, all my adult life, I believed in leaving things better than when I found them. As an attorney, I worked to leave my clients in a better position. As a teacher, I worked to leave my students better educated. And as a political commentator, I worked to leave my audience more informed. Now I'm running for mayor because I want the city to be in better shape. So go to AbdulForIndy.com and read about our plans to take a tough but smart approach to dealing with crime, our creative approach to road funding, and restoring public trust in government. You know, we all deserve a great city to live in, and together we can make that happen. It's not just talk, it's a plan. Paid for by Abdul for Indy.
The NBA playoffs are here. Got some more play-in action tonight, and you can turn crossovers into cash with FanDuel. Just visit FanDuel.com/WIBC right now. Place that $5 bet. You'll get an instant $150 in bonus bets, whether or you win or lose. So I'm taking the Bucks to win the whole thing, and maybe the Bucks and either the Suns or the Nuggets to meet up in the NBA Finals. But if you make a bet, it doesn't hit, doesn't matter, because you still got $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. No better place to bet all the playoff action than America's #1 sports book. Go to FanDuel.com/WIBC and sign up and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet your first $5. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 plus and present in Indiana. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hi, it's Bob from Royal Spa. Soaking in a hot tub full of Epsom salts is the absolute best way to minimize everyday aches and pains. And we know all about Epsom salts at Royal Spa. Royal Spa hot tubs are the only hot tubs on the market that can safely and effectively use Epsom salts. Made right here in Indiana, Royal Spa hot tubs are the highest quality hot tubs on the market. Visit any one of our 3 Indianapolis locations or visit royalspa.com.
Ah, Royal Spa.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Indianapolis area attorneys. 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1250, Indianapolis, Indiana 46204.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What police know about the threat. 79 degrees and sunny in downtown Indianapolis. All clear on your radar with some clouds expected to move in later. You've got a low of 56. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:32. Several school districts in Indiana had to either close or go to e-learning today because of bomb threats being made. State police and the Indiana Department of Homeland Security are trying to figure out where the threats came from.
At this time, there have been no suspicious or explosive devices located at any of our schools.
State Police Captain Ron Galaviz says school corporations are working with their local police departments to make the best decision on how to move forward. Attorney General Merrick Garland says the Pentagon needs to make sure that someone from within leaking documents is something that never happens again.
The Department of Defense is leading an important effort now to evaluate and review the national security implications, and most important, to conduct a review of the methods of access, accountability, and control procedures that the department has so that something like this can never happen again.
21-year-old Jack Teixeira, an Air National Guardsman from Massachusetts, is the man accused of leaking U.S. intelligence documents on social media. Former Indiana Governor and Vice President Mike Pence says he's tired of Democrats asking for gun control laws.
Well, I came here today before the NRA to say enough is enough. It's time we took a stand for America and for freedom.
Speaking at the NRA convention in downtown Indianapolis this afternoon, Pence claimed American freedom is under attack like never before, while he was being critical of President Biden's administration. The state's 988 suicide prevention hotline needs some extra funding. Both chambers in the State House agree on that, but what they don't agree on is where to get that funding.
I think we agree we didn't fully fund it. We just put some general fund dollars. There's got to be something else in there, but I think we need to decide what is that going to be.
State Senator Ryan Mishler. The state Senate is proposing a cell phone tax, while the House is suggesting a cigarette tax. The two sides will need to find some way to compromise. The average price for a gallon of gas in Indiana today, $3.73 per gallon, according to GasBuddy.com. That's above the national average by just a bit. That's $3.66 a gallon. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:34.
It's Hammer and Nigel for Window Nation. Everyone loves a smart investment, and there is no better place to put your money right now than in your home. Window Nation has the perfect offer for anyone with a home at least 20 years old. Protect and increase the value of your home and energy efficiency by installing new Window Nation windows. Window Nation is making it insanely easy to do so with 0% interest for 5 years. Plus, Window Nation will give you 2 windows free with every 2 you purchase.
Go with the window company that has installed nearly 2 million windows, including mine, by installers with over a decade of experience using only top-of-the-line installation materials, which is why 96% of all installations require no follow-up service. Call Window Nation today and lock in these limited-time savings when you need them the most. 866-90-NATION and pay 0 interest for 5 years. The life of your loan, and get 2 free windows with every 2 that you buy. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
With traffic at 3:35, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Pike Township, you're boxed in going south right now. Southbound 65, stop and go from the Dog Leg down to 86th Street. Looks like we have a disabled truck pulling a trailer out in the right lane right now. Coming into downtown, inbound 65, slow from West Street to the north, splitting eastbound 70. A little spotty here from Harding Street to Meridian, Illinois. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interior. Shop Drexel Interiors for carpet and get free padding. Yes, my carpet, get free padding. Only at Drexel Interiors. Visit Drexel in Carmel or on North Shadeland. Find Drexel at DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
A few widely scattered showers around this evening and tonight. Saturday looks better now, partly sunny skies in the 80s. Sunday looks soggy. So tonight low 59, Saturday high 81. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist David James for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. Very special guest on the DriveHubler.com hotline.
Tommy Piggott is the RNC Rapid Response Director. Tommy, we got some numbers out this week. The CPI was released, which in essence shows the inflation report. Explain to me why I saw Joe Biden and his administration doing a victory lap.
Well, the closest I can come to explaining that is that they're living in an alternate reality. I mean, I don't really, I don't think there's really a justifiable way that they could take a victory lap on this. What that showed with this marker is that we've now officially had 2 years where inflation completely wiped out wages, meaning when it comes to real terms, what you can buy with your wages, your real wages have been going down for 2 years under Joe Biden, and that's nothing to brag about. So I can't explain why they're bragging. In reality, they should be saying we're sorry for fueling this inflation, but I won't hold my breath for that one.
Yeah, the thing that drives me nuts, and you see this time and time again from Joe Biden, he wants to take credit for lowering something from a record level that he had a big hand in setting in the first place. You don't get to say, well, it's coming down. You put it at that record level. It's nowhere near what it was when you inherited the office, but it's still, a result of your incompetence.
That's exactly right. Whenever they post tweets or videos, they always say, "Oh, the lowest since 2022." It's like, well, you were in power in 2022. What are you talking about? It doesn't make any sense. And you're exactly right to point out when he came into office, we had an inflation rate of 1.4% when he took office. Gas was at $2.39 a gallon. We're way above that, and we've been above that for a long time. It's not like we've just spiked up, as everyone knows. It's been 2 years of inflation at these extremely high levels. It's been 2 years of gas prices $1 or more per gallon than when he took office. So it's really so dishonest for him to be bragging about that, acting like he's bringing this down. When you're also right to point out it was his wasteful spending that fueled inflation in the first place. It was his war on American energy that sent gas prices fueling skyrocketing in the first place. And of course, there's other world events that affect this stuff. But he has so weakened us that we're vulnerable to every single shock. If we had our own energy, we wouldn't matter if Saudi Arabia was producing more energy. But he's so declared war on American energy, we're vulnerable to every single thing that other countries do. And it's part of the weak position that he's put us in.
One more thing on this, and we can move on. Hey, Tommy, it's Nigel here. In terms of job creation, when Joe Biden does the victory lap on job creation, I roll my eyes because you have COVID, right? You have the federal government bribe governors to shut down the economy with massive spending, massive stimulus, massive COVID funding. Jobs disappear. COVID then fades out. Jobs come back. Those aren't new jobs that were created out of thin air. They're jobs that went away because of the draconian lockdown policies and came back. Joe Biden didn't create anything.
I think that's exactly right. He has no concept or the difference between jobs recovered and jobs created. Yes. He has no concept of that. Not to mention the fact that if you actually look at these jobs, where these jobs are being recovered, and in some states where they're being created, they're in states that are led by Republicans. And it was Joe Biden and Democrats that really extended these lockdowns, that longer than anyone except for Anthony Fauci thought they should be extended. And that really forced people to move to states like Florida, like Texas, a whole host of other states that are led by Republicans. So if you actually look at where the job recovery is, the top 10 states for job recovery are all led by Republicans, and the worst states for job recovery, meaning have recovered the fewest number of jobs, are all led by Democrats. So if he really wants to talk about job creation, he should start by thanking Republican governors for opening back up their states despite the pressure that he was placing on them.
Tommy Pickett is our guest. He's the RNC Rapid Response Director. So you mentioned energy a little bit earlier. We're seeing more and more of this now. Joe Biden has basically declared war on gas cars without officially going out and saying it. The new specs and the new regulations that Joe Biden wants to put in place and the goal for the next 10 to 15 years on electric vehicles, this is basically a war on gasoline-powered cars, is it not?
It is. I mean, it's basically going to force automakers to stop selling gas-powered cars, or a huge chunk of them, and instead sell EVs. And look, I don't know what we're going to be driving in 100 years, but I know right now this artificial push, this market manipulation towards EVs is going to be more expensive for consumers. It's going to lead to a less reliable product right now. And it's also going to empower communist China, because communist China controls all of the minerals we need to produce electric batteries. So he's basically declaring war on gas cars and giving a big gift to communist China. And I don't know if it's because he spends so much time in his basement, he doesn't get the concept of having a car, actually driving places. I don't know if he doesn't quite get why that's so important to the American culture, about why it's so important for the suburbs, for huge amounts of the country that don't have access to public transportation. But this war on gas-powered cars is really going to hurt a lot of people. It's going to raise prices and make us a lot less secure on the national security and the environmental front, by the way, in the long run.
Yeah, talk big picture about Biden's war on energy. I mean, that's something he campaigned on. I mean, he said it out loud. Yeah, I want to get rid of the coal industry. I want to get rid of fossil fuels, which, by the way, I think you still need those things to produce electricity and electric cars and charging stations. This is something that he has been talking. Nobody should be surprised that Joe Biden has a war on energy, because that's one of the things he campaigned on.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He said it again and again, that he was going to eliminate oil. He was going to end oil drilling. I mean, he literally said that. So, I mean, it's actually kind of amazing. I was trying to think of, looking back through history, if there's ever been a leader of America or any other country that has had such disdain for one of the greatest strengths of their country, meaning our energy reserves is one of our greatest strengths. It's one of the things that made us a great country. And Biden has such disdain for it. He's actively trying to destroy one of our greatest advantages, whether that's on the economy or national security. And it is from day one, literally day one. Some of the first things he does is go out there and eliminates the Keystone XL pipeline, or end that project, make sure it doesn't come to fruition. And that pipeline would have been operational right now if he hadn't canceled it, if he hadn't blocked it. And that meant thousands of jobs, but also a lot more oil that was going to be transported a lot cleaner. And that's also the kicker here. A lot of these policies they're pushing, you mentioned, electricity has to come from somewhere. A lot of the policies that they're pushing are actually not making the environment any cleaner, because it's making us dependent on countries like China, on Russia, on Saudi Arabia. Look at Europe, for example. They had this huge green initiative, but really all they did was destroy their own ability to produce energy and import that energy from Russia. And then they patted themselves on the back for not producing as many fossil fuels. And look where that's gotten them now. A huge trump card for Vladimir Putin. And also a worse environment because Russia doesn't have the same environmental standards that we do. So this is really a lose-lose-lose policy. And really only Joe Biden and the Democrats could come up with a policy so counterproductive.
And what's funny to me, Tommy, is that the same political side, the political left in this country that hates rich people, at least they claim they do. Tax the rich. We don't like the rich. Pay your fair share. They sure do love it when rich people buy these electric cars. We saw Geraldo Rivera go on Fox yesterday, and he was so proud that he's able to possibly buy an EV Bentley. Well, not everybody's got Geraldo money. Not everybody can go out and buy an EV Bentley and use Grey Poupon as butt paste, but Geraldo Rivera is pretty damn proud about it, and the left in this country loves that.
Yeah, they do. It's a virtue signaling thing, and it actually comes into like a status symbol where, the average electric car costs over $65,000 per year, and most people just can't afford that flat out. So it becomes a status symbol of virtue signaling. But I think that virtue signaling is actually at the heart of the entire environmental agenda for the left. You have John Kerry, who goes to all of these, the climate czar for the Biden administration right now. He goes to all of these climate conferences in a private jet. He just stopped using it. It's such virtue signaling. And that private jet emits more than 23 Americans emit in a year. Just to give you a perspective of how dirty, quote unquote, that climate jet is. So it's such hypocrisy. It's such virtue signaling. And I think you're exactly right to point out it's all about being able to say, I have this expensive luxury item. I have this expensive green, quote unquote, item. That's all about showing your status. And in the long run, the people that are going to pay the most for that are the people that are going to suffer under these mandates, that can't start a business, that can't afford to commute to work, that can't afford to save money for retirement because of the war on American energy.
Tommy Pigott, RNC Rapid Response Director. Tommy, thanks so much for your time.
Hey, thanks for having me in.
It's a Hammer and Nigel show.
Brownsburg is the place to be this Saturday, April 15th from 3 to 7 p.m. Tony Katz here, myself, Fingers Malloy of the Eat, Drink, Smoke radio show, and Guy Relford, the gun guy, will all be at Premier Arms in Brownsburg to raise money for Brownsburg Blessing Boxes. We're going to help get food to people in need, and we need your help to do it. We will be live with Eat, Drink, Smoke. You can smoke along with us and try some bourbon from Old 55 Bourbon. They're going to have some incredible barrel picks that are available for sale with proceeds going to help Brownsburg Blessing Boxes. And then Guy Relford, the gun guy, fresh off the heels of the NRA show, will be talking about that convention and all your favorite topics. Just a $100 donation will get you eligible to win some incredible prize packs, including some custom-made firearms and some cigar packs curated by yours truly. Join us on Saturday, April 15th from 3 to 7 p.m. and raise money for Brownsburg Blessing Boxes, 3754 South Green Street in Brownsburg, 3 to 7 p.m. Get more information at premierarms.com.
People everywhere are binge watching their money. Now streaming on Lake City Bank Digital. When checking Met Savings.
Together we make so much sense.
Also featuring Adventures of the Penny Pincher.
My journey has not been an easy one, but my budget is going to survive.
Watch new episodes of Your Money unfold every day on Lake City Bank Digital. Learn more at lakecitybank.com/digital. Member FDIC.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Now through Monday, save big during our indoor-outdoor sale. Save 50% on Smith Brothers and Lazy Boy. Up to an extra 15% off Hollywood and Berlin Gardens outdoor furniture. And up to $300 off Sealy, Stearns & Foster, and Tempur-Pedic mattresses. Now through Monday, save on everything in the store only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus with free delivery.
Are your investments going nowhere? Here's a tip that always pays big dividends. Invest in yourself, your talent, your smarts, your skills. Maybe it's time to make that investment and start a career in IT or upskill to boost your current career. At My Computer Career, you can bank on us. We'll help you get the right skills and the right certifications to start or advance your IT career. IT keeps growing, so go with the growth at My Computer Career. The right training, the right timing, the right career. Invest in you at mycomputercareer.edu. Start now.
Jessica,
This is the happiest day of my life. Right up there with the day I bought my RV and insured it with Progressive. Man, I love that thing. There are a million fish in the sea, which I'm reminded of every time I bring my RV to the lake, but I vow to love and cherish you just as much as I cherish campsites with full electric and water hookups. I'm so sorry.
Protect your beloved with an RV policy from Progressive. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
What do student athletes learn in the second classroom of high school sports? So much more than just a game. I'm Jeannie Ulmer.
And I'm Chris Kaufman. We're both assistant commissioners of the Indiana High School Athletic Association.
Through education-based athletics, student athletes learn the courage to face challenges. They realize the importance of persevering through trials and failures. They discover the drive to achieve their goals.
They gain something so much more valuable than wins and losses. They develop grit and integrity.
They grow so much more than their athletic skills. They learn daily lessons in teamwork, accountability, and respect.
These are some of life's most important lessons, and high school sports teach every one of them every day. Buy a ticket to your high school's athletic events and support student athletes learning the values and skills they need on the playing field and beyond.
This is helping student athletes grow as people. This is the purpose of high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for plenty of advice and fun, brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and foundation, life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Drexel Interiors warehouse sale has tens of thousands in inventory, including flooring at 50 cents a square foot, cabinets, vanities, and more. Thursday through Saturday only, 3217 Shadeland Avenue.
Any update on that Donald Trump motorcade yet, Matt?
We are doing pretty good so far, Hammer. As a matter of fact, all ramps are open on the west side right now, and everything coming in on inbound 70 from the airport to downtown looking pretty good. Anything shuts down, I will let you know right here and at Matt in Traffic. We have a vehicle downtown, southbound 65 Pike Township at 86th Street. Right lane is blocked in traffic. Stop and go past the dogleg to Whitestown Parkway. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Shop Drexel Interiors for carpet and get free padding. Yes, buy carpet, get free padding only at Drexel Interiors. Visit Drexel in Carmel or on North Shadeland. Find Drexel at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
79 and sunshine at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
Do you answer the door when solicitors come by?
Only to screw with them. Sometimes I take my pants off. Take my pants off.
Sure.
And
there's this crime reporter that says when somebody knocks on your door, always answer it. And here is the reason why.
You should not get quiet and pretend you're not home whenever someone knocks on your door. They want to hit a house that's empty. They want to kick in your door when you're gone, take all your stuff, and leave. And it's terrible, but it's way worse if you kick in that door and there you are inside pretending you're not there. Now you're face to face with a criminal. So the vast majority of these burglars tell me they like to hit Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Why? Because they think you're gone. They want an empty house. But they're not sure you're gone, so what do? They knock, and boom, they kick it. It's called a knock and a kick. Let's try to prevent that from happening altogether. So the next time somebody knocks, don't get quiet. Make noise.
Good, so I'm doing it right.
Okay, sure.
Answering the door with my underpants and my gun sticking out of the waistband.
Yeah, I'm so embarrassed. I did something last night I'm embarrassed of. Oh, man.
It takes a lot to embarrass you.
Okay, so there was a car parked outside directly outside our house for like a half hour with 2 people in it, and they're just sitting there. And I don't know what's going on, and it looks a little suspicious to me. And I finally go, Lindsay, what do you think? Should I call somebody on this? She's like, yeah, I would. It looks really... So I called 911. I said, suspicious vehicle outside my door. They've been there for a half hour. I don't know these people. I don't know what they're doing. And they took, down my address. And
sure.
Shortly thereafter, I saw my neighbor go out and talk to him.
Oh, so they were friends of your neighbor.
They weren't. There's some weird thing, and it's not a weird thing. It sounds actually fun. The Zionsville senior class all has plays this giant squirt gun game where they eliminate each other. They go around and try to knock each other. The entire senior
like
class.
laser tag, but with squirt guns.
They've been doing it for 20 years, and so sometimes kids will stay parked out beside a bush, and their classmate will come out and they'll get them with it, and they're eliminated. And I think there's money involved. And so
you called the cops on the kids, didn't you? You went full male Karen, and you called the cops on the high school kids having fun.
There's my really good friends down the street they have a senior, and oh my God, I feel so bad. But the cops didn't end up coming because my neighbor went out and saw them kind of patrolling the area, and my neighbor said, "Hey, just so you know that there's someone down the street." My neighbor's called the cops. He's like, "Yeah, we've been getting calls. It's not a big deal." So they didn't even come down and get him. They didn't even come down and confront. And I'm so glad they didn't.
Did you ever think that you should go out there and confront them and talk to them?
No. I would never. No. I would never do that. My neighbor across the street from me is much more of a man than I will ever be. So nobody ended up coming. It was fine. But I was mortified that I did that because it was just a couple of seniors staking out their victim to try to get him with the squirt gun.
Allison, what's a male Karen called? Do we have an official name for a male Karen?
Yeah, I think it's a Nigel.
God, no!
Moving forward, a male Karen shall be known as Nigel.
Oh, I apologize to my neighbors and the kids, but again, the cops kind of knew what was going on. They didn't end up. They were in our neighborhood, but they never.
Did you speak to their manager while you were at it? It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Buying a house means your life is about to change, and that's exciting. Exciting, right? Yes, it also can be really stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Me, Matt Bear here. Hey, when I sold my house, I was making the big move to, here, Indianapolis. I was pumped to live my new life, but selling my house was a really stressful process. I didn't have Open-Door, so I had to deal with the hassles like listings, back and forth negotiations, unplanned showings, and the dreaded double move and paying mortgage and rent at the same time. You're in control when you use Open-Door. You get peace of mind with the easier selling process. Request an all-cash offer on your house and have it in a matter of days. Visit opendoor.com or download the Open-Door app to get started. That's opendoor.com or download the Open-Door app. Open-Door is represented by Open-Door Brokerage Incorporated, license 020611130 in California, and Open-Door Brokerage LLC in its other markets. Terms and conditions apply.
Man, I spent a lot of time in my garage, especially in the summer. The beer fridge is out there, got the big screen, watching sports, but my garage floor was old and cracked, wasn't very well taken care of. That's where Galaxy Concrete Coatings comes into play. They came in and turned my garage into something brand new in as little as a day. My new Galaxy Concrete garage floor is literally out of this world. Galaxy Concrete Coatings, they do your garage, your basement, your pool deck, and it's not epoxy, by the way. That's the old stuff. This is better what they use. It's polyurea, the new premium standard. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com, and give them a call. Set up a quote, 317-751-9070.
It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity during tax season because so much sensitive info is all together.
Before we start the annual meeting of Sean's personal info, has anyone seen Social Security number?
Not me.
Nope. Nuh-uh. Oh, no. He's been stolen.
LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. If you become a victim, we'll work to fix it. No one can monitor all transactions, but you can save up to 25% off your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
Life is all about enjoying the little moments. Don't miss out on them because of unexpected heart issues. At Community Health Network, you receive heart care you can trust. From simple screenings to life-saving diagnostic and interventional cardiology services, we offer it all, so you can get back to the moments that matter. Learn more about our services at ecommunity.com/heart. Community Health Network. Exceptional care simply delivered.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month. But you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Sponsored by Age of Learning.
Shop Drexel Interiors for carpet and get free padding. Yes, buy carpet, get free padding. Only at Drexel Interiors. Visit Drexel in Carmel or on North Shaylin. Find Drexel at drexel-in.com.
Huber has it.
Hubler has all the top brands: Chevy, Buick, GMC, Ford, Acura, Honda, Mazda, Nissan, and more. And every new vehicle includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Looking to sell your vehicle? We'll pay you top dollar, even if you don't buy ours. Take it from Brooke Hubler.
You can get a car anywhere, but you can only get a warranty like this at Hubler. 10 years, 200,000 miles.
Visit drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
Warranty available on new vehicles except certain models, not transferable or available on leases. Copy of the warranty is available for review at the dealership.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Coming up in 2 minutes, what police know so far about school threats made this morning, and your former governor back in town for the NRA convention. It's all happening after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis.
The Pentagon says, lock it down. I'm Eben Brown, Fox News. President Biden is ordering the military to further secure sensitive information in the aftermath of classified documents being posted online.
President Biden commended the rapid action taken by law enforcement to respond to the disclosure of classified government documents, but in a statement says he's directing the military and intelligence communities to take steps to secure and limit the distribution of sensitive information. He says his national security team is coordinating with partners and allies. 21-year-old Massachusetts Air National Guard member Jack Teixeira has been arrested, accused of posting sensitive military documents about Russian and Ukrainian military operations in a Discord chat room. Prosecutors say Teixeira worked in cybersecurity systems and held the highest level security clearance. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
And Teixeira remains jailed for now. He was taken into custody Thursday outside Boston. Much of that information leaked contained intelligence on Russia's warfighting in Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin today signed a bill allowing for electronic notices to draftees, signaling a plan to conscript more Russian citizens to fight in Ukraine as a spring offensive is likely. Breaking this hour, U.S. Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito is halting lower court rulings that limited access to abortion pills. The planes are flying in and out of Fort Lauderdale again, following 2 days of closures due to rain.
I love Florida. I'm not going to lie, but I'm ready to get home to New York, especially since it's 85 there. We're hoping that we take off on time. Our flight's delayed about 2 hours, but we knew about that ahead of time.
More than 2 feet of rain flooded out roads and neighborhoods. The USFL is back. Games begin tomorrow. Watch them on Fox. Just before the close on Wall Street, the Dow was down 160. America is listening to Fox News.
'93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What police know about the threat. 79 degrees, sunny in downtown Indianapolis. To clear radar, low temperatures tonight, dropping down to the mid-50s. Some clouds supposed to move in as well. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. Several school districts in Indiana had to either close or go to e-learning today because of bomb threats being made. John Herrick reports.
State police and the Indiana Department of Homeland Security are trying to figure out where the threats came from.
At this time, there have been no suspicious or explosive devices located at any of our schools.
State Police Captain Ron Galavis says school corporations are working with their local police departments to make the best decision about how to proceed in the future. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
2 women are dead after a triple shooting on the east side this morning.
Preliminarily, what we do know is that we believe that there was forced entry onto the residence. Unknown amount of people then entered the residence. We believe it was more than one.
Sergeant Janae Cook with IMPD. She says a teenager was also hurt when the shooter opened fire at a home near Brookside Park. Police are looking for suspects. They believe more than one person may have been involved. Former Indiana Governor and Vice President Mike Pence says he's tired of Democrats asking for gun control legislation.
Well, I came here today before the NRA to say enough is enough. It's time we took a stand for America and for freedom.
Speaking at the NRA convention in downtown a few hours ago, Pence claimed American freedom is under attack like never before. It was critical of the President Biden administration. It's supposed to be cloudy and maybe rainy this weekend.
The entire state is going to see the chance for rain late Saturday night into Sunday, and in much cooler temperatures Sunday into Monday. But unfortunately, these cool spells aren't going to be lasting as long as we head later into spring.
Cody Moore with the National Weather Service says after temperatures drop into the 30s and 40s 60s at times Sunday and Monday. It's supposed to warm up into the 70s later next week. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
So if you're looking for a bigger house for your office or your growing family, or even if you want to downsize, call the only real estate agent I trust, Mark Dietl. Here's Mark Dietl's promise. He guarantees your home sold at agreed upon price and deadline, or he'll buy it. Here's what happened with Melissa and Leonard in Mooresville. They needed to move out of the state for a job change, and they needed to sell quick. They heard about Mark Dietl on our show, and everything Mark claims is true. Their house sold in 25 days for cash at the price they needed. Quoting Melissa and Leonard here, hire Mark Dietl.
Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Let that sink in for a minute. Call Mark Dietl today and ask about this amazing guarantee. He'll answer any questions that you have. 317-755-4232. That's 755-4232. Or go to markdietl.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietl.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Come on, south side again. Crash westbound 465 between 31 and Harding, blocking 2 left lanes with traffic stopped. Back to I-65. And we have a delay. My stuff says 60 minutes here. That's long for 2.5 miles. Eastbound 70 stop and go from Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. Traffic sponsored by the NRA annual meetings and exhibits April 14th through the 16th. It's the NRA annual meetings and exhibits in Indianapolis, April 14th through the 16th. 14 acres of the latest guns and gear. NRA members and their family get in free. Join at nraam.org. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
A few widely scattered showers around this evening and tonight. Saturday looks better now, partly sunny skies in the 80s. Sunday looks soggy. So tonight low 59, Saturday high 81. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist David James for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are
weirdos?
So let's rock it!
So, by the way, Hammer, the name of the game that high school seniors have been playing in Zionsville and Carmel and Westfield, I didn't know this is like Cathedral. It's called Senior Assassins. It's the squirt gun game, Senior Assassins.
And you called the police on them, Karen.
There's these in a truck sitting outside my house. One of them didn't have a shirt on. They were sitting out there for a half hour.
I'm sure they looked like real threats, Karen.
I'm paranoid. I didn't even call the non-emergency number. I called 911.
You called 911 on them?
Oh, I feel so mortified because as soon as I did that, my neighbor directly across from me, I saw him go out there and talk to him, and he figured out what was going on, and he texted me. Dude, my neighbor, hold on, trust me, my neighborhood, they call the cops on anything and everything. There was
better.
This white guy in a trench coat and a business suit was walking around putting his business cards for his new insurance company in everybody's door. Somebody called the cops on him one time.
That doesn't make anybody look good in your neighborhood. That might make it worse. It's a whole block of Karens.
Now, they were waiting, so the people that were waiting outside my door were waiting on a high school senior that lives on my court, Vaughn. So I apologized to Vaughn, and maybe I helped him out. Maybe I helped Vaughn out. Maybe he survived the assassin, and maybe the squirt gun assassin.
Keep telling yourself that, because here's what's going to happen now. Anytime there's like a real emergency at your house, let's say there's some drifter that gets, dropped off in the middle of your neighborhood. He's naked. He's covered in feces. He's got a knife in his hand. He's fondling himself with the other one. He's trying to break into your windows.
I called 911.
Yeah, it's that Karen again. It's probably some Girl Scout selling cookies or something.
You got to remember, the cops have been at my house twice because of false alarms, too. My alarm system is gone. This
isn't going to end well for you.
The cops got a free tour of the Laskowski household one time when they showed up because the door was kind of propped open and the alarm went off, but nobody was home. They're like, sir, we know this is a mistake. We'd like to go sweep your house just in case. I'm like, all right, go ahead. Oh, mortified. But Senior Assassins is what that game is called that many high school seniors play here in Central Indy.
Speaking of high school seniors, I have one at home. Your kids are a little bit younger.
Yeah.
Did you get an email or a message this morning about this bomb threat that was happening at various schools around Indy.
Yeah, I got it. It didn't. There was no threat in Zionsville, but we did get an email saying that there was no threat. Right, you know what I mean?
Right, we got the same thing for Beech Grove. There was no threats made there, but they were aware of the situation. And at this time, everything's fine. But some folks got a different message. This was the message. Now, Fox 59, I believe, was the first one to acquire this. But it was a message written in Arabic that was sent to about roughly 40 schools around Indy, including Speedway, Center Grove. Quote, one of your schools has a bomb inside. It is well built, solid, and discreetly located. Considering that today is your last day, I think it is appropriate for you to pray to God. Allah is the greatest. That was the email or the message that was sent out to various schools written in Arabic.
Yeah, it's chilling. That's pretty scary. That's scary stuff. Who knows where it came from? I mean, you remember Plainfield had to deal with Brian Kill there for a few months.
Right.
That was sending Facebook messages to
harassing
students. And it turned out it was somebody in, I believe, California.
Yes.
So this could have come from anywhere. I would like to think that the authorities have the capabilities to trace it back to wherever it came from. I mean, hell, they arrested that 21-year-old National Guardsman for leaking the military documents yesterday.
Right.
And they arrested that dude like military style. I didn't know the FBI had fatigues and tanks.
Well, when you're leaking their information, they're coming for you. They're coming for you.
So
Homeland Security, I've been told, is now working on this school threat around Central Indy. Now, you brought up Plainfield. Plainfield was a subject of Jesse Waters' program a couple nights ago because there was this group called Accuracy in Media. This is the group's name, Accuracy in Media. They had a couple undercover agents having conversations with folks in various schools, and it's kind of like Project Veritas. Yeah. We heard some of these school board members and school administrators admitting, yeah, we do critical race theory here, but we just call it something else.
More or less saying, yeah, we lie to the parents.
Right. That's exactly what it was.
They're a bunch of liars.
And Elkhart, Goshen, Martinsville, and Plainfield were all featured in the report that aired nationally on Jesse Waters' Prime Time. Well, for those who didn't get a chance to hear it, this was Dr. Laura Del Vecchio, the assistant superintendent of Plainfield. Now, keep in mind, she's speaking to somebody that's undercover that's recording this conversation.
Do you have an equity department or anything like that?
So honestly, we had what we've decided to do is not call attention to it because when you call attention to it, then questions are asked. And I really believe that you can do more good under the radar. Right before COVID, we had started some really deep diving into our curriculum and kind of doing that like white privilege walk and making sure just understand, right?
I love the white privilege walk comment from the assistant superintendent there in Plainfield.
What the hell is that?
It's like you're power walking. You have tight pants on and your butt sticking out and you're listening to Hanson and you're power walking and you're white. That's a white privilege walk. I mean, could you imagine saying, well, we don't like to have questions. We don't like to answer questions. They're basically telling people that they lie to the parents. They're liars.
The whole not answering questions thing was really highlighted because last night there was a school board meeting in Plainfield.
Yeah.
So we've got some highlights here. So the school board in Plainfield has the meeting, and at the beginning, they're trying not to address this.
So they said they were specifically not going to address it.
So they called for people to discuss literally every or any other issue to come up and talk. Well, one parent said, yeah, I want to talk about an equipment issue. And then he goes up there, and guess what he wants to talk about?
Our family picked this place because we thought it was like an all-American little town, red, white, and blue. God bless America. And I'm a little concerned. I know this isn't your topic on tonight's agenda, and I want to know why you can't give us a comment on what we saw on national TV last night.
Well, I did make a comment at the beginning.
Yeah, but you're not making a comment.
Wait a minute, please.
That's
okay. Wait a minute.
That's
please.
chicken.
Wait a minute, please. We are going to, and I have this, I was going to ask the people who had an agenda item to come up and speak.
Well, I'm talking about
And
obsolete
then
equipment. I think some of you might be obsolete
excuse me,
equipment.
sir. Then I have at the end of the meeting the opportunity to invite people if there's any questions to discuss. But this is a business meeting where we conduct business. After we conduct the business, that's
So
on
you
the
guys are going to
agenda.
stand around after this and talk
We'll
to me
be
and explain
available.
what happened last night?
We will be available to discuss things if you would like, but we need to conduct the business that is on our agenda.
Yeah, the problem.
So you're not going to
So
do any
we're going
discussions on this
to
except after the
allow
meeting?
people to discuss if there's something on the agenda, and then after our meeting this evening, will we be available if you have any questions or anything you would like to discuss?
Yeah, I think that's what everybody wanted to discuss. They're going to wait around until after the meeting.
Right.
So I mean, the problem is, like, they opened up the meeting and said, we do not have a comment on the video that is going around on social media. Well, the problem with that is it was on national television.
And that's not good
last
enough.
night.
You should have a comment because you certainly had a comment to that undercover reporter. Here's another parent who kind of did the same trick, said he wanted to talk about something else, but went up there. And here's what's crazy. There was like a live stream of this Plainfield School Board meeting that goes over YouTube. At this point, magically, the audio was still able to be recorded, but the live stream cut out. So you couldn't see this parent being ticked off and confronting to their faces these people who have been lying to him.
A lesser me would have been embarrassed by who was sitting in this room. My children's principals, their former principals, my friends that are on this board, people I've done business with. A lesser me, a more immature me would have cowered, would have sat in that chair or not came here tonight to voice my opinion, right? It's time we stopped rolling over and letting things get pushed through. Inch by inch by inch, we have allowed society to be taken away from us. That is absolutely appalling what you are on video saying, ma'am. You are in a trusted position in this community. You are in a predominantly white community and went on there and racistly attacked every white family in this community by saying that you know better than we do. You need to look at the curriculum through a white privilege lens, and you will decide what our children are taught. I look like this because I was spending all day at the school doing something that I felt like was important. I wished you did the same thing. And then after school, I had to go pick my kids up from school, and we had many athletic events to attend tonight. I just taught 10-year-olds how to play softball for 2 hours. We cut practice short to be over here because I think it's important to address you on this.
So this is a guy that's a
Unbelievable.
volunteer at the school.
Yes.
Volunteers his time. He just wants a little transparency from the people who are in the same room. They're there.
So powerful. That was powerful. Was that the second guy that spoke
Yes.
after the first? Like, I mean, just a complete dressing down of that assistant superintendent. She stood there and just took it.
Good. Here's a little bit more.
I appreciate you taking, because I know that we're all passionate about our schools. That's why we're all here. And I appreciate you being here to share that with us. But with everything,
Why can't you just comment on it now? That's why we're here.
I would like to conduct a business meeting. After the business meeting, I am happy to talk to
When it's
anybody.
convenient for you,
I don't-
basically what you're saying.
I'm not
We have
asking.
to pay bills. We have to do things to conduct a business. It takes 5 minutes if you let us just conduct the meeting.
Will you open it back up for public comment after the 5 minutes?
We will be available.
This isn't something that needs to be addressed one-on-one. This isn't something I come talk to Brad or Danielle or you or Scott. This
Good for
isn't
him.
something that goes one-on-one, right? This is the stuff that keeps getting skipped over and passed on, and we shove it to the side because we got more important stuff.
Have you guys,
It's not the
have
thing.
you guys had a chance to talk with Laura? Have you had a chance to talk with Scott?
What is there to talk
Did you,
about?
whoa.
Okay,
Whoa.
my point
Where
is-
where was the talk before
My point.
we went behind parents'
We have
backs?
had less than 24 hours.
Well,
to
so
be
would
able-
you say you're caught off guard by it?
No, I'm not caught off guard.
You're not
by it.
caught. So you knew it was
I'm
happening?
not caught off guard by the fact that there was a video.
Yeah, just sit there and take it because you know you're wrong.
Right.
And it's stuff we've been talking about on this show for months on end. And you got caught lying to these people that are volunteering at your school. What a joke. That guy is awesome.
And it's not just Plainfield. We're aware of this. It's happening everywhere. But Plainfield's going to be the example here because they got caught.
And Plainfield was like, they were, my cousin, my wife's cousin and her family goes to Plainfield. They didn't wear masks or anything like that. They didn't have ridiculous, I think they still had some of the social distancing and contact tracing and stuff, but they didn't wear, I was stunned when I found out they didn't wear masks. Like, that wasn't supposed to be like that there in Plainfield.
I know we're running way late, but I want one more clip
Screw
here.
it.
One more clip because this is awesome. Again, Plainfield School Board meeting last night. Parents, they're ticked off. They were lied to. And the school telling an undercover reporter, we're trying to keep everything from the parents.
Under the radar. We don't like to have to answer questions, so we're going to call CRT something else.
Maybe we'll have a white privilege walk. This is the kind of crap that parents found out about watching Jesse Waters' show on Fox News.
As long as we dumb it down a little bit, how do you distort someone saying that's okay?
Excuse me. I need to suspend the meeting because we have to conduct business. That's what this meeting is for.
I respectfully request this becomes an appointed agenda item in the next board meeting, and there is ample time for any public comment. We get the board stuff out of the way, and then you open it up for public comment. And you know what? We're all taking arrows in the back right now as parents, right? All of us. This is ridiculous. You have the power. You hold her contract.
We pay you.
You have the power. You approve the contract. You can revoke it and rip it up at any time.
I appreciate you expressing we're going to continue the meeting. And
Can we get it on an agenda item for the next meeting?
We will have it available for discussion. I'm not going to commit at this point. We will
Why
discuss
can't
it,
you
whether
commit
it's
to
an
it being a
agenda
discussion?
item, whether it's an agenda item or another form. We will have it available for discussion. We
Will it
be
be a
here
public
after the
forum?
meeting.
Will it be a
they're
public
always
forum?
a public forum. Yes, it'll be a public.
It's not always a public forum. It's not. Things get swept under the rug. I mean, we all saw it. You saw it.
Good for those Plainfield parents.
That was unbelievable. And these aren't like broadcasters or guys like you and me. These are normal, average, everyday parents that are concerned that their school was highlighted for hiding things from them on national TV.
One guy was a volunteer at the school.
At the school earlier today.
Teaches kids softball, does things like that, and found out he was being lied to. Meanwhile, Dr. Del Vecchio sitting there in that room, just sitting there on her backside, didn't have a damn word to say. Not so chatty now, are you, doctor? All right, Matt Bear, what's going on?
Southside crash westbound to 465 after 31. This is a mess. We're just done here. 2 left lanes are blocked. Traffic stopped. Back to Emerson Avenue. Stop and go 274. Coming into downtown, eastbound 70 crash at Belmont. That's blocking the left lane, slowing us down. And then we are looking at eastbound 865. Crash before 465. Left lane partially blocked, backed up to Cooper. Traffic sponsored by Napa Auto Parts with nearly 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores and over 17,000 Napa Auto Care centers. Napa is the fuel that helps drivers like you get up and go. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
79 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Is this anything next?
Well, it is time for the NBA playoffs. You can get in on the action right from the first tip with FanDuel. Now, all customers, doesn't matter if you're an existing customer or a new customer, you get a no-sweat same-game parlay every weekend when you bet the NBA playoffs. That's right. Just place a 3-leg same-game parlay on any NBA playoff game this weekend. You'll get bonus bets back if you don't win. So you can put together a moneyline parlay. Bulls to win tonight, Celtics beat the Hawks, and the Warriors beat the Kings. And if you win, great. If not, doesn't matter, because you get bonus bets back if you don't. Visit FanDuel.com/WIBC. Get the no-sweat same-game parlay every weekend of the NBA playoffs. That's FanDuel.com/WIBC. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 plus and present in Indiana. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Imagine if you could get a 35% bonus when you invest your money. If you invest $100,000, you get a $35,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $70,000 bonus.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. Learn how you could get a 35% bonus from Bill Demery, your retirement guy. We're believers in Bill, and now we're clients too. Not only will you get a 35% bonus, you'll sleep well at night knowing your money is backed by an A-plus insurance company that's been in business for 140 years. and has $2.5 trillion in assets.
To learn how you could get your 35% bonus, call 317-932-9912. Reach out to Bill Demery, your retirement guy, at 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
The deals and specials are sizzling hot. It's the Central Indiana Gun and Knife Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Stoutfield National Guard Armory on West Minnesota Street. The best dealers in the region, hundreds of tables, just $6 for adults, kids 12 and under free. Must be 18 or accompanied by an adult. Buy, sell, trade this Saturday 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Stoutfield National Guard Armory. For more info, visit centralindianagunshows.com.
It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity during tax season because so much sensitive info is all together.
Before we start the annual meeting of Sean's personal info, has anyone seen Social Security number?
Not me.
Nope. Nuh-uh. Oh, no. He's been stolen.
LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. If you become a victim, we'll work to fix it. No one can monitor all transactions, but you can save up to 25% off your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub.
Ah, Royal Spa.
Drexel Interiors warehouse sale has tens of thousands in inventory, including flooring at 50 cents a square foot, cabinets, vanities, and more. Thursday through Saturday only, 3217 Shadeland Avenue.
Hey folks, it's Abdul, and I'm running for mayor of Indianapolis. Now, I've lived in the city for nearly 20 years, and I've seen the city at its best, and I've seen Indy at its worst, and lately, been a lot more worse. Record murders and record potholes. We can't expect different results if we re-elect the same people who are responsible for our city's problems. So go to AbdulForIndy.com and read about our plans to take a tough but smart approach to dealing with crime. Read about our creative approach to dealing with road funding, and learn how we can restore public trust in government. Everyone, regardless of zip code, deserves the right to live in a neighborhood with safe streets and good roads. It's time to try something different. Paid for by Abdul for Indy.
Michaelis presents Password. The word is basement.
Musty.
Shoes.
No. Damp.
Your hair.
Try, subterranean.
Ooh, tunnel.
Smelly.
Burps.
Sheesh. Try basement.
Oh, well, burps are smelly too.
Ugh.
Basement waterproofing and French drains. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Make it Michaelis.
Come on, take your basement back. 844-FIX-INDY.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Hammer, how do we play Is This Anything?
I'm going to run a story by you.
Okay.
You break it down, tell us if it's anything or not. Is this anything? New York City has officially hired their very first rat czar.
I'm sorry?
a rat czar to help mitigate the rodent problem that New York City has had for years.
I still haven't figured out that yet, right? I mean, it seems like it's been a stereotype for New York City for decades.
The rat czar beat out almost 1,000 other applicants for the job.
Really?
Kathleen is her name. Here's the press conference.
You'll be seeing a lot of me and a lot less rats. Our measure of success, rats are tough, but New Yorkers are tougher. So it's going to take everyone involved to make sure this is successful. We are absolutely going to explore all different rat mitigation techniques, see what works best to scale across the city. These are taxpayer dollars we're spending, so we want to make sure we're using the most efficient technique.
Yeah, this is something, and I'm sure she's getting paid six-figure salary for this. Now, you were right when you said earlier, I'm disappointed in the way the rat czar is. I would think she would have been like in military cargos with a bazooka on her back.
Right.
Double-barreled shotguns on.
Rambo-style bullets.
Yeah, right, crisscrossing her chest.
Right.
I'm going to go kill me some rats.
Like straight jet black aviators.
They should have hired the mayor of Baltimore.
Oh, Catherine
right?
Pugh?
Yeah.
She's got a history of dealing with rats.
The hell? We should just take all this down. Ooh, you can smell the rats. Ooh, Jesus.
Ooh, you can smell the rats. Ooh, Jesus. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
My drinking was out of control. It was tearing my family apart and controlling my life. I had a choice, and I chose Landmark Recovery's addiction treatment program. They showed me a proven pathway to recovery. What will you choose?
Choose life. Choose Landmark Recovery. Visit landmarkrecovery.com to learn more.
'93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He's back in town, 80 degrees, partly cloudy in downtown Indianapolis. All clear on your radar, low down to 56 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. For Lake City Bank, here's what's trending at 4:30. Your former governor, Mike Pence, says gun control laws aren't the best way to prevent mass shootings, but
enact legislation to ensure that anyone thinking about these heinous acts of mass shooting knows that they will face justice and face justice swiftly.
Speaking at the NRA convention in downtown this afternoon, Pence says he'll continue to fight for Americans' Second Amendment rights. Bomb threats were made to many school districts in Indiana. State Police Captain Ron Gallivis has the specifics.
Early this morning, the Indiana State Police was made aware of messages sent via email to several dozen Indiana schools which were threatening the use of explosive devices which had allegedly been planted on various school campuses.
So far, they found no explosive devices at any school in Indiana. They're trying to figure out where those threats came from. President Joe Biden is ordering the military to further secure any sensitive information after classified documents were recently leaked online. Fox's Jared Halpern reports.
President Biden commended the rapid action taken by law enforcement to respond to the disclosure of classified government documents, but in a statement says he's directing the military and intelligence communities to take steps to secure and limit the distribution of sensitive information. 21-year-old Massachusetts Air National Guard member Jack Teixeira has been arrested, accused of posting sensitive military documents about Russian and Ukrainian military operations in a Discord chat room. Prosecutors say Teixeira worked in cybersecurity systems and held the highest level security clearance. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Cloudy skies and maybe some rain. That all could be in your weekend forecast.
The entire state is going to see the chance for rain late Saturday night into Sunday, and in much cooler temperatures Sunday into Monday. But unfortunately, these cool spells aren't going to be lasting as long as we head later into spring.
Cody Moore with the National Weather Service says temps could drop below 50 and maybe even 40 Sunday and Monday, but it should go back up after the weekend. And your stock report, the Dow dropped 143 today to 33,886. The NASDAQ down 42 to 12,123. And the S&P 500 dropping 8 points to 4,137. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:32.
Give your small business one tech solution that checks all the boxes. It's all here with the Comcast Business Complete Connectivity Solution. It's cyber threat security for peace of mind. Check. The power of the largest, fastest, reliable network for small business. That's a triple box check right there. And save up to 75% a year on your wireless bill with Comcast Business Mobile. Check and cha-ching. It's everything you need to keep your business connected. From the company powered by the next generation 10G network. The complete connectivity solution. Get started for just $49 a month for 24 months when you add mobile. And ask about an $800 prepaid card. Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Ends 5/21/23. Restrictions apply. Requires 2-year agreement, EcoBill, and autopay. New 100 megabits per second internet and security edge customers only. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Compares weighted average of top 3 carriers. Taxes and fees extra. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data. Savings vary.
With traffic at 433, here's Matt Bear.
Yeah, Harrison stopped on the south side once again and again in the westbound lanes. 465 stop from 74 past US 31 because of a crash blocking 2 left lanes. Delay time is about 51 minutes. Looking at eastbound S70 crash between Belmont and Harding. That's blocking the left lane with stop and go traffic back to Holt. And then we are looking at a crash 82nd at Craig Street. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Shop Drexel Interiors for Craig and get free padding. Yes, buy carpet, get free padding only at Drexel Interiors. Visit Drexel in Carmel or on North Shadeland. Visit Drexel. Find Drexel at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
A few widely scattered showers around this evening and tonight. Saturday looks better now, partly sunny skies in the 80s. Sunday looks soggy. So tonight low 59, Saturday high 81. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist David James for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Yeah. What up? This is Dr. Dre. The party's going on. Thank God it's Friday.
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hammer is over there. I'm Nigel. A truck full of dimes in Philadelphia had 2 million dimes in it. It was valued at around $200,000. It was stolen while the driver was asleep.
Oh, no. Well, that's not good.
2 million dimes valued at $200,000 stolen while the driver was asleep in Philly. Here is police breaking down what happened during the robbery and other things he's seen stolen from these trucks.
It's normal in the trucking industry. Like they would pick up a load. There's rules about how much you can drive, etc. So they have to get their required sleep. We've had lamb, chicken, TVs, refrigerators, etc. taken, alcohol.
Lamb.
Man, and he was asleep. That's not it's not good for job security. Can't imagine you get invited back when you fall asleep and, $200,000 worth of your product is stolen out from underneath of you.
But, 2 million dimes, that's a lot. You would think, if it's out of the back of a semi, if you're in, I don't know where this truck was. Was it a semi? Or was it like one of those Brinks security trucks? Because if you're in a truck parking lot, like a Pilot or somewhere like that, you need almost like a forklift to get that kind of product out of the truck.
It's a lot of heavy dimes.
Yes. Now, with the alcohol and the other stuff that he mentioned, I could see how thieves could unload it. Like if you're walking into Kroger and looking for a Coinstar kiosk.
Right.
And you have 2 million dimes.
Chances are I'm the guy stuck behind that guy.
Yeah, right.
I just want, a little bit for a road trip, and I'm stuck behind the guy that's got all those dimes.
Somebody's going to see a thief with crates full of dimes at the kiosk in Kroger with the Coinstar and maybe get a little suspicious.
Like, if you had all those dimes, wouldn't you at least consider filling up a swimming pool like Scrooge McDuck and getting in there and throwing the coins up in the air? Would you at least consider it? Now, let's talk about the word dimes, because the moment you said a truck full of dimes, honestly, the kid that grew up on the South Side in me thinks that could mean a number of different things. Because when I was growing up, a really hot chick was called a dime because she was a 10.
Or a dime piece?
Right, a dime piece. So you could have a truck full of dimes. You're rolling with a bunch of hot chicks in the truck. Also, dime in basketball vernacular is a really sweet pass made to somebody.
Oh.
Dropping dimes all over the court. Now, if you're somebody that smokes a lot of weed, a dime would be like a dime bag. So there are a number of different things that you could associate with being dime.
I just typed a dime piece meaning in the Urban Dictionary. What is a dime piece? Bangin', hot, beautiful, a perfect 10.
Right.
When describing a woman.
I got a truck full of dimes and we're rolling real deep.
Bangin', hot, beautiful, a perfect 10, according to Urban Dictionary's most popular definition.
We are the whitest people alive. What did you put into the Urban Dictionary search engine? What did you type?
Dime piece meaning. I didn't even put it into this. I just put it into Google. Dime piece meaning. Urban Dictionary, and it brought up the Urban Dictionary.
Right, so you could have a day where you have lots of different dimes going on. You could bring a dime piece to your basketball game. You could be dropping dimes on the court. You could smoke a dime later on and maybe hang out with your friend that stole all the dimes in Philadelphia. That's a busy-ass dime day right there. There's a new study out that says the smell of a new car can actually increase your risk of cancer, Nigel.
Oh, wonderful. Add it to the list.
Scientists found that the chemicals causing the smell had carcinogens like formaldehyde and some other things that surpassed safety standards in vehicles. We can't have nice things, can we?
To quote Ron Burgundy, I don't believe you. That's the reason why you buy a new car, is the new car smell.
They make air fresheners that are just new car smell. When was the last time you had one of those air fresheners hanging down that had like a new car smell?
I took my wife's van before she went on a road trip with our kids to St. Louis. I took it to Prime Car Wash there on Michigan, and you get like the interior cleaned out, and they ask you what kind of scent you want, and one of the choices is new car smell.
I can't remember which comedian had this bit. It was somebody that said they should make new car scent cologne, and you should spray that on and walk around. Then all the gold diggers would be like, ooh, that guy's got a new car. Smell that guy? He's wearing new car cologne. Coming up here a little bit after 5 o'clock, Rick Snyder, president of the FOP, will join us here on the Hammer and Nigel show. We're going to get his thoughts on the indictment of a couple IMPD officers. And there was a press statement that went out earlier today from the FOP. And I'm telling you, this is going to ruffle some feathers, and Rick's going to come on and break it all down for us. Now, speaking of crime, specifically here in Central Indy, the report has officially been finalized. The first 100 days of 2023, 61 homicides in Indianapolis. That's up 11 from this time last year when Indy broke the 200-plus homicide barrier for the third straight year.
Wow.
Some other numbers, again, the report finalized on the first 100 days. Indy has reached at least 300 people shot or stabbed, with at least 60 killed in the first 100 days. And the problem is, people are starting to get numb to these numbers. Nige, Indianapolis should not be competing with Chicago or hell, beating Chicago per capita in terms of crime and homicides, yet here we are.
And half the time I swear I see these stories and there's never any follow-up. You don't know what happened. You don't know if there was any resolution, any justice for the victims in these shootings. We had an awful double homicide this morning at Brookside on the east side. It's just,
and I hate that, man. That's a place I grew up playing baseball, Little League baseball. They used to have a field over there, Brookside Park, man. I hate that. And Indianapolis, keep this in mind. And I'm sure other police departments do this too, but the numbers are way worse than what's officially being reported to you, because there's a lot of cooking the books that takes place. There's a thing called a death investigation.
Right.
That means it's not a homicide because they're still investigating the death. So if the police find a body that has been cut in half or something very heinous, technically they can't prove that it was a murder. So it's a death investigation. We're trying to figure out why this person was sawed in half inside of a body bag somewhere on the east side of Indianapolis. And that happens all over the country. It's not just an Indianapolis thing. So the numbers of crime that you're getting, just understand that it's actually way worse than it is.
I think they're close to getting Trump on here at the NRA convention. Should we take a break and maybe come back?
Okay.
Just to give us enough time to maybe air some of this.
Let's do that. We're going to take a little break. Donald Trump's scheduled to speak at the NRA convention. If he comes on while we're at break, we'll come in and bring it to you.
Okay.
How about that?
Sure.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey, Diamonds Direct's got it all for whatever that special occasion this spring might be. Proposals, anniversaries, birthdays, graduations, or maybe a just because gift. Even looking ahead to this fall, it's my 15th wedding anniversary. You better believe the first place I'm going to for a gift is Diamonds Direct over there at Keystone at the Crossing. My wife and I are lifelong customers.
Diamonds Direct has the best warranty program of anybody in the diamond game, and it's not even close. The amazing warranties, the top-notch customer service. When you walk into that beautiful showroom at Keystone at the Crossing, the staff, they'll make sure that they give you options. You get the biggest bang for your buck. They'll let you know why things cost the way that they do. Who else does that? I'm telling you, the best in the business is Diamonds Direct. Stop by Keystone at the Crossing or go to diamonddirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
People everywhere are binge watching their money. Now streaming on Lake City Bank Digital. When checking met savings.
Together we make so much sense.
Also featuring the day the spending stopped.
Sometimes saving money just feels so right.
And the incredible shrinking debt.
Honey, come look. Our loan balance is so tiny.
Plus, adventures of the penny pincher.
My journey has not been an easy one, but my budget is going to survive.
Watch new episodes of Your Money unfold every day. Now streaming on Lake City Bank Digital. Learn more at lakecitybank.com/digital. Member FDIC.
My drinking was out of control. It was tearing my family apart and controlling my life. I had a choice, and I chose Landmark Recovery's addiction treatment program. They showed me a proven pathway to recovery. What will you choose?
Choose life. Choose Landmark Recovery. Visit landmarkrecovery.com to learn more.
What if your home's title, the document that proves you own your home, is in some criminal's name? That's home title theft. Home titles are online, and once a criminal forges your signature, he'll take out loans against your home, or worse, sell it. Home Title Lock helps shut it down. They do better than anyone. Has some criminal taken over the title to your home? Find out for free and get 30 free days of protection with sign-up. Use promo code RADIO at HomeTitleLock.com. Promo code RADIO at HomeTitleLock.com.
It's the NRA Annual Meetings and Exhibits in Indianapolis, April 14th to 16th. This three-day event features over 14 acres of the latest guns and gear from the most popular companies in the industry. With entertainment and special events, make plans now for a freedom-filled weekend with activities for the entire family. NRA members and their family get in free. If you're not a member, join online or at the door. Go to nraam.org for more information. That's nraam.org.
Shop Drexel Interiors for carpet and get free padding. Yes, buy carpet, get free padding. Only at Drexel Interiors. Visit Drexel in Carmel or on North Shaylin. Find Drexel at drexel-in.com.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday.
All right, let's go live to the NRA convention where former President Donald Trump is about to speak.
Well, thank you very much, and I'm thrilled to be back with the hardworking, God-fearing, card-carrying patriots of the NRA. Thank you very much, everybody. As a candidate in 2016, I promised you that I would save your Second Amendment from absolute obliteration. That's where it was going. And as your president, that's exactly what I did. We saved our Second Amendment, and we're going to save it for a long time to come. It's under siege, but we're going to save it for a long time to come. Forever, as far as I'm concerned, forever. And thank you very much. So I was proud to be the most pro-gun, pro-Second Amendment president you've ever had in the White House. I think that's been acknowledged. And with your support in 2024, I will be your loyal friend and fearless champion once again as the 47th President of the United States. And we have to remember, in 2016, we won the first time, and we did better the second time, got a lot more votes. A lot of bad things happened, though, didn't they, huh? A lot of bad things happened. I want to thank Wayne LaPierre and Charles Cotton for their leadership, as well as all of the people that work with them, the NRA members who make up this incredible organization. And it's really a tremendous force for freedom. That's what it is, and I'm very proud to be here. Thanks as well to Congressman Jim Jordan and his incredible wife, Polly. Where is Jim? He's around here someplace. Where's Jim? And also with them came along Isaac. You know, Isaac is a wrestler, 4-time All-American. If anybody's into sports even a little bit, 4-time All-American's good. And Jim was a great wrestler. A lot of people don't know that. And his daughter-in-law, Brooke, and she's about to have a baby. I said, when is the baby coming? She said, it could be today or tomorrow. I said, what are you doing here? But he's a spectacular congressman, politician, and person. And so I just want to thank Jim and the whole family. Polly, thank you very much for being here. And somebody that I believe is going to be, and a friend of Jim, is going to be your next senator from the great state of Indiana, which I love so much. Jim Banks. Where's Jim Banks? Jim Banks. Jim. Hi, Jim. He's so popular now, he's unopposed. We like it that way, don't we? Thank you very much, Jim. You're doing fantastically well. Indiana Lieutenant Governor Suzanne Crouch, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Suzanne, where's Suzanne? Suzanne, thank you very much. And also Attorney General Todd Rokita. Todd, where is Todd? He's someplace here. I saw him. It's a big crowd, Todd. That's a big crowd. Thank you very much. Great job, Todd. Doing a great job. For 7 years, all of us here today have been engaged in an epic struggle against the corrupt forces and communist maniacs, and they're all over the place, that are absolutely trying to destroy our country. They want to take away your guns while throwing open the jailhouse doors and releasing bloodthirsty criminals into your communities. They want to abolish your borders and impoverish your families while spending your money on endless and very, very stupid foreign wars. They want to demonize patriots and persecute Christians while pushing the transgender cult on your children. Children turn 25 and they say, who did this to me? Who did this to me? How did you let this happen? They want to weaponize and interfere with our elections through the use of the DOJ, the FBI, and local attorney generals and district attorneys. That's happening to me, but we're doing very well, thank you. It's actually called election interference. That's all they want to do. I'll tell you what, if I weren't running, which isn't going to happen, or if I was doing badly in the polls, and we're not going to let that happen either. We're killing them in the polls. Are you seeing the numbers? They wouldn't be doing anything. They'd be after somebody else. They wouldn't be talking. But we're going to show you some of the polls in a little while. You're going to be amazed. We really made a lot of progress over the last month. We put it into high gear like we did for 4 years when this country had no problems. And then COVID came in and we got it back. When you think about it, it was amazing. And we actually left it with a stock market that was higher than just pre-COVID coming in. It was an amazing job that we did. We built it twice, but there was nothing like it. I mean, there was nothing like it. What we did in those 4 years were really monumental. Rebuilt our military, largest tax cuts in history, largest regulation cuts in history. The creation of Space Force, that was a big deal. That was a big deal. And so many other things. Even right to try, I hope nobody needs it. Right to try, where you can use this advanced medical treatments that won't be approved for 5 or 6 years by the FDA, but we got them to move a lot faster, I will tell you on everything, but won't be approved by the FDA for years, and we've saved thousands and thousands of lives with right to try, but we did a lot. We did a lot. "2024 is the year that we will defeat these nation-wrecking globalists, Marxists, rhinos, and tyrants once and for all." The rhinos are in there. In many ways, the rhinos are worse because you don't know where they're coming from. You say, oh, that's a rhino. We don't like that one. At least with the Democrats, you know where they're coming from, and that's not a good place, is it? If you put me back in the White House, their reign is over, and America will be a free nation once again. And I promise you this, with me at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, no one will lay a finger on your firearms, just as took place for 4 years when I was your president. I will uphold those glorious words, shall not be infringed. You know those words? I think you know those words. You know those words? Every pledge I made to you as a candidate in 2016, I fulfilled as your president. I appointed nearly 300 federal judges to fill the bench with pro-Constitution warriors who interpret the law as written. We have great judges, a lot of great justices, almost 300, a record. I faced down vile attacks from the radical left to confirm 3 great Supreme Court justices. You know who they are: Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, Amy Coney Barrett, all outstanding people. They don't help me much, I got to tell you that. They vote against me too much, but one of those little things in life, right?
All right, you've been listening to former President Donald Trump's opening remarks at the NRA convention downtown Indianapolis. We will keep an eye on this. If he starts bringing the heat, we'll bring you some audio coverage of that. But coming up next, we want to have a conversation with FOP President Rick Snyder. You talk about bringing the heat. This is a guy that's fired up. He had a press statement that went out earlier today. We're going to talk about that, the indictment of a couple IMPD officers. You don't want to miss this conversation. It's live, and it's coming up next here on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
If today were the last day of your life, would you want to do what you're about to do today? As time marches on, the inescapable movement of the clock can change our perspective on life and our daily purpose. We all get there someday. In recent years, families I work with often ask, "What happens to me, Brian, if something happens to you or you decide to retire?" Every day I ask myself, does this still feel like a purpose that I look forward to, or is this starting to feel like a job? This is Brian Singer with Singer Financial. I feel blessed to still love what I do, but someday my purpose might shift to playing pickleball 24/7. CNBC reports that 73% of financial advisors lack a formal succession plan. That means that nearly 3 out of 4 advisors may be contemplating their own retirement with no transitional support for the clients who may have trusted them for years or decades. Fiduciary advisors put clients' best interests first. At Singer Financial, that means knowing how the individuals, couples, and families we work with will be taken care of for many more years beyond my retirement, unexpected disability, or death. Great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people. I'm excited to share that Singer Financial is now a part of Howard Bailey Financial, an Indiana-based retirement planning firm. We believe our integration with the Howard Bailey team is a giant step forward in our mission to be the last financial team you would ever need or want. Howard Bailey is a growing firm with a youthful, energetic founder and a cutting-edge planning process designed to help you transition into a work-optional lifestyle someday. Call us at 317-852-9153 to schedule a discovery visit and talk about your someday. If you're ready to plan for your best retirement, we should get together.
Investment advisory services offered through registered investment advisors Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, and AE Wealth Management, LLC. Working with Singer Financial cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Indianapolis is the crossroads of America, the crown jewel of the Midwest.
I'm Jefferson Shreve. I grew up in Perry Township on the south side. I've stayed pretty close to home. Indianapolis, Indiana is my home. The first part of my life was focused on growing a business. And in doing that, I've done some good. Employed quite a few people.
But with a crumbling infrastructure and record-breaking crime, can we still say Indy is a jewel of a city?
I think sadly, we've had better, shinier, happier days in our past than we are at today.
Jefferson Shreve has a plan. Hire more police, give them the support they need, and let them do their job. Because we don't have to live like this.
Strong leaders can pull people into a cause and motivate them.
What Indy needs now is a leader with a plan.
I'm Jefferson Shreve, and I need your vote for Mayor of Indianapolis.
Paid for by Shreve for Mayor.
This Saturday, make your way to Brownsburg and be part of the fundraiser for Brownsburg Blessing Boxes at Premier Arms, 3754 South Green Street. From 3 to 7 p.m., we're going to raise money to help feed people in need. Just make a $100 donation, and you're going to be eligible for some amazing prize packs. You got to check it out, including some things curated by me, Tony Katz. We'll have a live Eat, Drink, Smoke show and a live Gun Guy show with Guy Relford. So join us on Saturday, April 15th from 3 to 7 p.m. to support Brownsburg Blessing Boxes at Premier Arms in Brownsburg. See you then.
Coming up in 2 minutes, what former President Trump is saying downtown. It's all happening after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
The Pentagon says, lock it down. I'm Eben Brown, Fox News. President Biden is ordering the military to further secure sensitive information in the aftermath of classified documents being posted online.
President Biden commended the rapid action taken by law enforcement to respond to the disclosure of classified government documents, but in a statement says he's directing the military and intelligence communities to take steps to secure and limit the distribution of sensitive information. He says his national security team is coordinating with partners and allies. 21-year-old Massachusetts Air National Guard member Jack Teixeira has been arrested, accused of posting sensitive military documents about Russian and Ukrainian military operations in a Discord chat room. Prosecutors say Teixeira worked in cybersecurity systems and held the highest level security clearance. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
And Teixeira remains jailed for now. He was taken into custody Thursday outside Boston. Much of that information leaked contained intelligence on Russia's warfighting in Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin today signed a bill allowing for electronic notices to draftees, signaling a plan to conscript more Russian citizens to fight in Ukraine as a spring offensive is likely. Breaking this hour, U.S. Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito is halting lower court rulings that limited access to abortion pills. The planes are flying in and out of Fort Lauderdale again, following 2 days of closures due to rain.
I love Florida. I'm not going to lie, but I'm ready to get home to New York, especially since it's 85 there. We're hoping that we take off on time. Our flight's delayed about 2 hours, but we knew about that ahead of time.
More than 2 feet of rain flooded out roads and neighborhoods. The USFL is back. Games begin tomorrow. Watch them on Fox. Just before the close on Wall Street, the Dow was down 160. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What they had to say, 80 degrees, partly cloudy on Monument Circle, all clear on your radar. Slight chance for rain tonight, low down to 55 later. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Former Indiana Governor and Vice President Mike Pence says he's tired of Democrats asking for gun control legislation.
Well, I came here today before the NRA to say enough is enough. It's time we took a stand for America and for freedom.
Speaking at the NRA convention in downtown Indianapolis this afternoon, former President Donald Trump is speaking now.
For 7 years, all of us here today have been engaged in an epic struggle against the corrupt forces and communist maniacs and they're all over the place.
Trump said he's confident he'll be elected president again in a few years. Several school districts in Indiana had to either close or go to e-learning today because of bomb threats being made. State police and the Indiana Department of Homeland Security are trying to figure out where those threats came from.
At this time, there have been no suspicious or explosive devices located at any of our schools.
State Police Captain Ron Galaviz says school corporations are working with their local police departments to make the best decision on how to move forward. 2 women are dead and a teenager hurt in a triple shooting on the east side of town this morning. Kurt Darling reports.
Police think the shooters knew exactly who they were shooting at.
Detectives here at the scene do not believe that this was a random act.
Sergeant Janae Cook with IMPD. She says the cops in the area heard the shooting and got there to find all 3 victims inside of a home near Brookside Park. Several children were inside as well. They say the shooters forced their way inside and started shooting, even firing rounds from outside the home inside as well. The cops need help finding the perps. Kurt Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
It's supposed to be cloudy and maybe a bit rainy this weekend.
The entire state is going to see the chance for rain late Saturday night into Sunday, and then much cooler temperatures Sunday into Monday. But unfortunately, these cool spells aren't going to be lasting as long as we head later into spring.
Cody Moore with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says after temperatures drop into the 30s and 40s at times Sunday and Monday, it's going to warm up in the 70s starting Wednesday. Traffic and weather's next. Your time is 5:04.
Spring in Indy. And since 2001, Rhino Shield has been covering Indiana homes and businesses. Just ask Mike.
I was watching TV one night and saw the Rhino Shield ad, and I thought, well, if they can do a house, they can probably do a building.
And Rhino Shield's not paint. It's better.
So they came out and they gave me a price, showed me how the Rhino works, how it lasts, and how the guarantee works.
Business owners, you too can get the 25-year protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
They started on the building. They waited for us to leave, and they worked Saturday and Sunday so they wouldn't affect our business at all. This was the great part of it. I came back Sunday night, and you couldn't even tell they were here. There was no paint on the ground. They did a fantastic job.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
Hey, don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05, here's Matt Bear.
Southside Harrison, crash clear, westbound 465 at 31. Traffic still stopped from 74 past I-65, rerouting on northbound 65, so that's a zoo from Keystone Avenue up to the south split. Crash coming into downtown, eastbound 70 Belmont, left lane block traffic backed up to Holt, and crash clear eastbound 865 at 465, still a little bit slow from Ford. Traffic sponsored by Discover. Discover credit cards do something awesome. At the end of your first year, they automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right, everything you earned doubled. See terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
A few widely scattered showers around this evening and tonight. Saturday looks better now, partly sunny skies in the 80s. Sunday looks soggy. So tonight low 59, Saturday high 81. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist David James for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a very special guest on the DriveHubler.com hotline.
Rick Snyder is the Fraternal Order of Police President, Lodge 86. He joins us. Rick, thank you for joining us on a very busy Friday here. Now, you put out a press statement earlier today. This press statement was in regards to the 2 IMPD officers that were indicted because they responded to a call about a year ago about a guy that was having a mental breakdown. They used their tasers to try to eliminate what they thought was a threat, and the gentleman ultimately passed away. Now these 2 officers have been indicted by a grand jury. With that being said, take me through what your press statement was earlier today.
Sure, guys. Well, first and foremost, anytime there's a death, it's a tragedy for everyone involved. We pray for the Whitfield family, and we also pray for all the other families that are involved as well. But this is the point that we made. The facts that exist just simply do not support any criminal charges in this case. You have officers that responded to someone in a mental health crisis, but they were called to that scene to intervene, and officers were sent. I think it's notable for folks to think about. But there were EMS personnel on the scene there. Why were they not in the house? It was because it was not deemed safe and secure for them to be in there, because our officers were dealing with a combative subject, and they were simply trying to safely and securely bring a resolution so that person could receive medical treatment. But listen, here's the deal. This is occurring multiple times throughout our city, in which police officers are being sent to mental health runs in which there's no allegation of a law being broken or a crime being committed. And what we simply said today, especially given in light of these outlandish criminal charges, is the fact that we called on our IMPD chief of police to immediately cease sending police officers to any of these mental health runs, mental health crises, even with threats of self-harm, unless there's an actual allegation or known crime that has occurred.
Who should handle those calls, in your opinion, Rick?
Well, we called for a simple change into the protocols and the dispatch procedures. One of the key things that we noted is that what we are recommending does not require a change in funding, but it does require a change to the response protocols and the dispatch procedures. And these are medical runs, so medical personnel should be sent. That would be the Indianapolis Emergency Medical Services and Fire Services through IFD for any immediate medical response. In addition to that, guys, one of the things that we have suggested is the infrastructure is all in place for all of this, including that even if this run is noted to not be occurring in, let's just say, a peaceful manner, we call on the Indianapolis peacekeepers to be sent to that incident through the Office of Public Health and Safety. We have 50 to 60 of those individuals currently employed by the city of Indianapolis at the tune of millions of dollars. They're receiving on average $55,000 a year. Our officers still have yet to see them. There's been no public release of their names or who they even are as public employees, yet they exist. So we're saying, why don't we use that resource and send them in lieu of police, but send them in conjunction with the medical personnel? Guys, I want to say this about this grand jury. We're going to defer to the criminal justice process now that charges have been filed, but I think it's notable to understand that with grand juries, prosecutors like Prosecutor Ryan Mears can cherry pick what information they want to provide to that grand jury. They're not duty bound in any way to provide them the full context of what occurred. So the big question that we have, and we will learn now in a subsequent trial, is what information was provided to that grand jury, and just as importantly, what information was not provided to that grand jury. And most people don't realize that.
Yeah. So you haven't seen what's in that? You haven't seen it?
No, and that's why you will get to saying that any prosecutor can indict a ham sandwich. It's very true. And so, I think it begs this question, though. The timeliness is very coincidental. Why so long, Mr. Prosecutor? We're told in public reports that the IMPD investigative file, the full file, was provided to the prosecutor's office a year ago. A year ago, they had all the information from the investigation, and he sat on this for over a year, multiple grand juries that have been seated, and then we cherry-pick information to get in front of them that now sustains, coincidentally, at the one-year anniversary, just weeks before a mayoral primary election, as well as after you've seen faith leaders and other folks call for federal intervention because they were seeing no movement from what they perceived to be IMPD. But all this time, it's been the Marion County Prosecutor's Office.
So, Rick, what would be your response when someone, and I say this because I've seen this report in other local media outlets in Indianapolis, that the IMPD was not very transparent with the body cam video. The family of the deceased person here says that there was a lot of time, up to 3 minutes or more, that was removed from the body cam video that ultimately had some answers to it as to why this person is no longer alive. What would be your response to that?
Yeah, sure, guys. Very understandable. But keep in mind this, that you're always going to have edited versions of these videos that are released, especially when it deals with personal private information and medical information. And so that full video has been provided to the family and others. They're free to do with that what they wish. I think what is important to remember is that with any body-worn camera video footage, and we've been very outspoken about this ever since we called for body-worn cameras, is just to remember that the body-worn camera only provides a perspective as to what occurred, not the officer's perspective. And remember, that's what's missing in all of this. Yet that information was available through the IMPD investigative review process of this. So, again, it'll be interesting to see what was provided to this grand jury and what was not.
Again, we mourn the loss of life here, but I don't know what you do if you're a police officer and you're called into a scene and somebody's having a mental health crisis and they become dangerous, and there is especially a very large individual, Rick. I'm not sure, what is the training? What is the protocol? What are the procedures in place? Because I 100% believe that these officers did not intend to go there and do harm to anybody. What are the procedures?
There's absolutely no indication of that, guys. You have officers that were called to the scene. They responded in good faith. They spent a great deal of the time following all the things that they're trained to do, attempting to de-escalate the situation. And when a person involved becomes combative, they utilize less lethal options, such as the employment of electronic control device, what people commonly refer to as a taser. When that was ineffective, they went hands-on. They were able to get a restraint done, and then they had medical personnel right there on scene. And so it makes sense that you're attempting to keep things safe for them to immediately get in there and provide medical treatment. Guys, to your point, I think that's what most residents looking at this say. While tragic, absolutely tragic, it leaves and begs the question, what else are these officers supposed to do? And, guys, I would point this out. It goes back to this issue. Listen, there are going to be errors that occur. There are going to be tragic outcomes that occur, but it doesn't rise to the level of criminal culpability. Guys, medical deaths from medical errors in this nation average 250,000 deaths a year in the medical community. It's the third leading cause of death in the nation. It only follows heart disease and cancer. The number 3 leading cause of death is due to medical errors. How many medical professionals do you see getting criminally charged by prosecutors? 250,000 deaths in just 1 year. How many of those occurred in Marion County, and how many of those were charged by Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears? I'm not aware of any, but the facts are out there. And when you look at the use of force incidents of police officers nationwide that result in a death, you're talking a little over 1,000 every year. Guys, that means for police, it would take the equivalent of 250 years just to reach the 1 year amount that we have from the medical community. What I'm telling you is we've got some of the best trained officers in the nation, leading cutting edge on crisis intervention response teams, some of the best training in de-escalation, and all these other resources. These officers were trying to do their job, and we had a negative, tragic outcome. It doesn't rise to the level of criminal culpability. The prosecutor should be ashamed of himself for pursuing it, but it leads to what we said all the way back to 2019 with President Trump at the White House and President Biden since then. We have prosecutors in major cities that are seeking predatory prosecutions to score political points, and all they are doing is decriminalizing the criminals, at the real criminals, and at the same time depolicing the police. That's why Ryan Mears has become the top recruiter for police agencies statewide outside of Indianapolis. That's why officers are heading for the exits, and you're down 250 officers in this city. Enough is enough.
Rick Snyder, President, Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 86, is our guest here on the Hammer and Nigel show. So earlier today, if you missed it, Rick has called for the Chief of Police for IMPD to immediately change response protocols, no longer sending officers to health situations, mental health situations, calling for the paid peacekeepers in Indianapolis from the mayor's office and others to be those that respond. Rick, last question before I let you go here. And again, I just want your gut feeling here. Do you think this is personal between the prosecutor's office and you? Let's be honest. The prosecutor, Ryan Mears, does not like you. The police department, as a whole, not everybody, has a bad feeling, bad relationship with the prosecutor, Ryan Mears.
And the mayor.
And the mayor. Do you think this was personal?
I think it's more of political issues. Yeah. You've got a politician who has had immense pressure placed upon him. And, guys, I think this is a big question for our community. Is that the way we want prosecutors acting and responding? That if you put enough political pressure on them, then they will prosecute cases rather than following the law and what the law actually says. And that's a big concern for all of us. We're seeing that around the country in our major cities, and I think it's something for us to consider. I would say this. Our community is better than this. I truly believe that most people in the community understand what these officers were attempting to do, even though we had the tragic outcome. But what we have called for today should bring everybody together. The chief can immediately move on this, and then it allows for a community-based approach to deal with the mental health crisis. We are averaging, officers tell us we're averaging 7 to 10 mental health runs per shift, per district in this city. That's up to 180 mental health runs every single day that officers are being called to respond to. And these are medical runs, but it's because our politicians have failed to uphold what their end of the deal is, which is to provide proper mental health medical care for our residents. And we know we can do better, but officers get it dumped in their lap. And we are saying that's enough. If it's a deal where you're going to be throwing them in jail, and we'll leave it to the medical professionals.
Rick Snyder, President, Fraternal Order of Police. Rick, thank you for taking the time to join us.
Thanks, Rick.
To address what's going on. And as always, tell your officers, stay safe and God bless.
Thank you so much. Please continue to pray for our officers.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show. Matt Bear's got to look at the road.
Coming into downtown Hammer, looking at eastbound 70 before Harding. Crash. Fast lane is gone. Traffic stop and go back to Holt Road. Northbound 65, a mess after Keystone Avenue into the south split. You make a west, it's going to be slow out to West Street. Northbound South Harding 37, stopped from Edgewood Avenue up to 465 because of construction underneath the bridge. And westbound to 465, still stop and go from Brookville Road over to Emerson because of a crash that has cleared. Traffic sponsored by NTT IndyCar Series. Experience the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach this Sunday, April 16th at 3 o'clock Eastern live on NBC Peacock. Watch the fastest cars and the boldest drivers fight to the finish line. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
79 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. We'll go back to Donald Trump's speech at the NRA convention right after this.
Maybe you want to sell your house, but you're worried because your home needs costly repairs or upgrades. No worries. With Mark Dietel, the only real estate agent I trust to sell my house, and he guarantees your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or he's going to buy it. How about Brandy in Indianapolis? She had an investment property and needed to sell, but she was certain she had missed a boat on Top Dollar. She hired Mark Dietel, and he assured her that his team would get it done, and he was right. Had Brandy's home sold in 2 days for Top Dollar. Super easy, and Brandy's very happy.
Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Let that sink in for a minute. Call Mark Dietel today and ask about this amazing guarantee. He'll answer any questions that you have. 317-755-4232. That's 755-4232. Or go to markdietel.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Dr. Trudy Fleer here with the 5G Home Recovery Podcast. Let's talk about mobile users getting priority over T-Mobile home internet users, shall we? You don't know them. Why should they take your internet? I get it. We're raised to share, but always coming in second, paying to be taken advantage of? No, thank you. With Xfinity, there's only one priority, and that is YOU. So come on, people, say yes to Xfinity. Learn more at xfinity.com/TMOFax.
Now through April 23rd, new customers can get started with 200 megabit per second Xfinity Internet with Wi-Fi equipment included. It's all just $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract. Or learn more about speeds up to a gig. That's up to 36 times faster than T-Mobile home internet. Go to xfinity.com/TMOFax, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular internet rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
Contaminated meds took Carrie's vision and her hope. A shooting stole Ray's sight and his dreams. To those who experience it, vision loss is devastating. But the programs of Bosma's Center for Visionary Solutions offer a return to independence. Without your help, though, those programs can't continue. If you act now, you can double the impact of your gift to the Bosma Visionary Opportunities Foundation. Change lives today at bosma.org/donate.
Hi, honey.
Mom, I'm glad you figured out the video call. What's all that noise?
Oh, that. Your room will soon be a fitness studio.
My room? What?
Yeah, it's the home equity line of credit from Lake City Bank. The low fixed rate is helping us get things checked off our list. Oh, honey, the hot tub is here.
The what? Mom?
Use Lake City Bank's home equity line of credit for anything you need, even hot tubs. Learn more at lakecitybank.com or visit a branch near you. Subject to credit approval and equal housing lender.
What if your home's title, the document that proves you own your home, is in some criminal's name? That's home title theft. Home titles are online, and once a criminal forges your signature, he'll take out loans against your home, or worse, sell it. Home Title Lock helps shut it down. They do better than anyone. Has some criminal taken over the title to your home? Find out for free and get 30 free days of protection with sign-up. Use promo code RADIO at HomeTitleLock.com. Promo code RADIO at HomeTitleLock.com.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Discover how to save more of your hard-earned money. Listen to WIBC this Saturday from 5 to 6 a.m. for secure retirement tips from Crown Haven Wealth Advisors. This Saturday, 5 to 6 a.m. on WIBC.
Shop Drexel Interiors for carpet and get free padding. Yes, buy carpet, get free padding. Only at Drexel Interiors. Visit Drexel in Carmel or on North Shaylin. Find Drexel at drexel-in.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Man, we have got a lot going on today. You just heard Rick Snyder, president of the Fraternal Order of Police. If you'd like to respond to that conversation, hit us up on social media at Hammer and Nigel. Right now, let's go back to the convention center where Donald Trump is speaking here in Indy at the NRA convention.
Standing before you at the NRA Leadership Forum in 2019, I revoked America's signature from the globalist United Nations Arms Trade Treaty, which was a disaster. I never surrendered to the globalist left, and I always put our term, America first. Very simple, America first. I canceled Barack Hussein Obama's corrupt use of Social Security data to deny Americans their gun rights without due process of law. You know that very well in this auditorium. I fought Obama's unconstitutional effort to ban 3D printed guns. I stood up for our hunters, fishers, and sportsmen like no other president has ever done before, opening up millions of acres of federal land and rolling back Obama's assaults on hunting, fishing, trapping, and on ammunition itself. When the radical left Democrats tried to use COVID to shut down gun sales during the China virus pandemic, I proudly designated gun and ammunition retailers as critical infrastructure. Do you remember that? Little things like that. It saved all of them. A lot of them are in the room with us today. My administration also petitioned the Supreme Court to overturn New York City's unconstitutional, so many unconstitutional things are taking place in these Democrat-run cities. But it was an unconstitutional ban on transporting handguns outside of the home. And in a landmark case last June, the court affirmed that the right to self-defense does not end when you step outside the front door of your house. And we did all of this, and we did so much more. We're working now and going to finish everything that we started. We finished a lot of it already in the 4 years, but we have things to do and we have things to finish, and we're going to get that done. And we're going to have a big, big, successful election coming up. We're going to take back that beautiful, gorgeous White House. On day one of my new term, I will stop Joe Biden's war on lawful gun owners. It's a war. What they're doing is crazy. So many things are great. Let's see, no borders, high taxes, everything they do. You know, I made a speech recently and I used this term and I didn't even know we were using it, but I used it. Every day is like April Fool's Day. We want no borders. No, you got to have borders. We want no walls. No, you got to have walls. Everything is like the opposite. This is April Fool's, right? We want high taxes. No, we want to keep our taxes low. We want no guns. No, we want people to be able to protect themselves and also enjoy it as entertainment and go out and hunt and do the things that you want to do. It's almost like April Fool's. Everything that they do is like We want to have a weak military. We want our military to be woke. You know, we rebuilt the entire U.S. military. We had planes that were 48 years old. We built brand new, beautiful jets. We had planes where the grandfathers were flying the same plane as the grandson. But we rebuilt our entire military. I mean, I hate to say this, we gave $85 billion of it to the Taliban in Afghanistan in probably the most embarrassing single moment in the history of our country, which I believe led to Russia going in. They would have never done that with us, but I believe it led to that and led to a lot of bad things. That was the most embarrassing period of time, I think, in our nation's history. Not only that, the soldiers killed, 13 killed, many just horribly, horribly wounded, hurt, no arms, no legs, faces were just so badly hurt. And we left a lot of people there, too. And then we gave up Bagram Air Base, the big air base, 1 hour from where China makes its nuclear weapons. You should have never given that up. And I call it a surrender. We actually surrendered. We were in great shape. You know, if you
all right,
look
you've been
back
listening
on
to
that history,
President Donald Trump speaking at the NRA convention here in Indianapolis. We will keep an open ear on that. But coming up next, Nigel, we've got some legal stuff to attend to. Fat Alvin against Jim Jordan, and we got somebody really cool to break it down.
Ashley Oliver is a political reporter for Breitbart, has been covering the entire thing. Jim Jordan is a representative who was here speaking earlier today at the convention, and it all having to do with Donald Trump, by the way. This all has to do with Donald Trump and the prosecution of Alvin Bragg. Well, the committee chairman, the House Judiciary is looking into Alvin Bragg and saying, wait a minute, you're using federal funds to help this sham prosecution of a guy that's running for president. We want to look into that, and there's a big lawsuit involved.
So we're going to have that conversation. Ashley Oliver of Breitbart, she's coming up next. We got Beer Sample Friday on the way. Right now, Harrison Silcox has the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Blaming the other party. Partly cloudy, 79 degrees on the circle. Mostly clear on the radar with a small shower to the east, a few to the west. Lows in the mid-50s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox for Stockyards Bank. Here's what's trending at 5:30. Former President Donald Trump is not shying away from criticizing Democrats at the NRA convention today.
They want to abolish your borders and impoverish your families while spending your money on endless and very, very stupid foreign wars.
Trump said he's confident he'll be back in the White House after the next election. His vice president and your former governor shared some similar remarks a few hours before Trump took the stage.
With a new Republican Congress and a new Republican president, we will kick these liberal meddlers out of our gun stores and out of your lives.
Mike Pence said he'll do everything in his power to defend the Second Amendment. Florida Republican Governor Ron DeSantis also spoke at the convention virtually.
I signed into law constitutional carry legislation that will bring Florida into line with 25 other states that recognize the fundamental right of law-abiding American citizens to keep and bear arms without a government-issued permission slip.
Indiana passed similar legislation last year. The Supreme Court is temporarily blocking restrictions on a commonly used abortion pill. Justice Samuel Alito blocked lower court rulings that imposed restrictions on the drug. Alito said the hold would remain in effect until midnight Wednesday. The full court is expected to study the case and decide the next steps by next week. A Texas judge suspended the FDA's approval of the pill last week. Bomb threats were made to several school districts in Indiana today. State Police Captain Ron Gallivis has the specifics.
Early this morning, the Indiana State Police was made aware of messages sent via email to several dozen Indiana schools which were threatening the use of explosive devices which had allegedly been planted on various school campuses.
So far, they found no explosive devices at any school in the state. They're trying to figure out where those threats came from. We've got a chilly weekend coming up.
For Sunday night into Monday morning, where we can get down to, the mid-30s, especially up towards Lafayette and Kokomo and points north. The metro area will likely remain in the upper 30s to near 40.
Cody Moore with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says there could be heavy rain and thunderstorms at times Saturday and Sunday. It'll start to warm up in the 70s, though, later next week. With traffic at 532, here's Matt Baer.
All right, fresh hell on the northeast side. It's eastbound 465 before 69. That's a crash. Blocking the right lane. Stop and go traffic back to Keystone Avenue. East side, southbound 465. Stop and go Washington down to 74. Crash cleared to downtown. Eastbound 70 at Harding. Northbound 65 continues to be slow from Raymond up to the South Split. Go west, your stop and go out to West Street and a crash downtown. That's Mass Ave Park. Traffic sponsored by Summit Racing. Summit Racing has parts and accessories to keep your truck rolling right. From custom grills to covers, Summit Racing has you covered. SummitRacing.com. Everything you need for anything you drive. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
A few widely scattered showers around this evening and tonight. Saturday looks better now, partly sunny skies in the 80s. Sunday looks soggy. So tonight low 59, Saturday high 81. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist David James for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
The Hammer and Nigel Show. Jason Hammer right over there. My name is Nigel. We'll go straight to the drive. Hewler.com hotline and bring on Breitbart News politics reporter Ashley Oliver. Ashley, how are you?
Good. Thanks, guys, for having me. How are you?
Really good. Really good. Big weekend here in Indy. And actually, you wrote a series of articles involving a couple of high-profile politicians that are here today speaking at the NRA convention. One being Representative Jim Jordan, who is also the House Judiciary Chairman. And all of this really surrounding is Donald Trump. So let me go back to the beginning here. District Attorney Alvin Bragg there in Manhattan indicts and arrests Donald Trump over the hush money payments with Stormy Daniels. And then Representative Jim Jordan, who again, the House Judiciary Committee, goes poking around Alvin Bragg's prosecution and wants to know some answers. He's trying to subpoena one of his former prosecutors. Pick up where the lawsuit happens here with Jim Jordan.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Jordan's there today with you guys advocating for 2A, but he's definitely deeply immersed in this Alvin Bragg case. I know a lot of voters that he talks to want to have answers on whether this was a rightful lawsuit, and pretty much every Republican has condemned it as a politicized case against Trump. So that's what I think Congress is trying to get to the bottom of. So what happened that eventually led to this lawsuit is that Jordan started to investigate Alvin Bragg's office. And, he's poking around saying, well, maybe we're going to consider legislative reforms to prevent a politicized indictment of a president or a vice president. Maybe this is election interference, and it's inappropriate for Alvin Bragg to be doing this. You guys use federal funds at your DA office, so we have an obligation to scrutinize how federal funds are used. So he has all sorts of reasons to be investigating Bragg. Now, Bragg has been fighting back, and they've basically exchanged several strongly worded letters up until now where they're, saying, well, Bragg is like, you're interfering with our state sovereignty. This is a state criminal case. You have, this is brazen of you to try to interfere in state criminal matters. So, of course, they're going back and forth. And then what happens is Jordan first escalates matters by subpoenaing a former employee of Bragg's named Mark Pomerantz. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but he quit Bragg's office when Bragg started working there last January because he was frustrated that Bragg was hesitant to pursue the Trump case initially. And Pomerantz went very public with this. He's written a book about it. He's appeared on media countless times, and his resignation letter somehow miraculously appeared in the New York Times after he wrote it to Bragg. So
think about what you just said there real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt, but his Pomerantz quits because Bragg gets in there and is hesitant to move forward with the prosecution of Donald Trump.
This shows you how, anti-Trump Pomerantz has been.
And then what changed after that? Where Alvin Bragg is all in.
Yeah, it's amazing. And so, because Pomerantz has been so public with this, people have speculated that Bragg felt like he had to compensate and say, no, I'm not done with Trump. I'm going to still pursue him. And this all, Bragg took that posture after Pomerantz and another attorney had quit his office and went very public about it. And, the New York Times posted their resignation letter, and Bragg, Pomerantz did a bunch of media. So then, fast forward several months, Bragg brings in a gentleman named Matthew Colangelo from the Biden's Justice Department, who had been working on Trump cases. He also previously worked at the New York Attorney General's office. Bragg brought him in to revive the Trump investigation and focus and zero in on the Stormy Daniels aspects of all of it. So that was towards the end of last year. So that was, Bragg responding to all of that. But back to what Jordan has done now, he's trying to understand if this is politicized, because Pomerantz is so outwardly anti-Trump and, has compared him to the case to an Osama bin Laden case. He's said that Trump is like John Gotti, a New York gangster. He's said that Trump is a malignant narcissist. So he's been very, very openly anti-Trump. So, this is something that Jordan is interested in and could provide them more information on whether this is a fair indictment. And so what he did was he subpoenaed Pomerantz to come in and testify just behind closed doors with the committee so that they could talk to him. And it would be Republicans and Democrats questioning Pomerantz. He's a private citizen. He has no reason not to come in and testify and reply to a congressional subpoena. And so then this week, now we're getting to what the culmination has been. Bragg decides to sue Jim Jordan for interfering in his investigation, or his prosecution of Trump, rather. And he's said that, he wants to stop the subpoena. He wants to stop Jordan's, quote, fishing expedition is what he's called it. And so he's moving to basically block Jordan from moving forward with the subpoena against Pomerantz, or potentially subpoenaing others like the Matthew Colangelo figure that I mentioned earlier. And so now we're at a place where Jordan has to respond to the lawsuit, and there's a hearing set for, and House counsel will go and appear at the hearing and argue on behalf of Jordan. And this is now something that could potentially drag on for months or even years. So Bragg, while his lawsuit may not be successful, is creating this prolonged situation that will probably work in his favor.
So, Ashley, let me jump in here real quick. We're speaking with Ashley Oliver, the Breitbart News politics reporter. I want to make this as simple as possible for our audience, because there's a lot of information that we just rattled off right there. There's a lot going on here. But at the end of the day, tell me if I have this right. In layman's terms, a member of the Oversight Committee is being sued because he wants oversight. Do I have this correct?
You have that almost correct. It's technically called the Judiciary Committee, but they have an oversight obligation.
Okay.
So yes. You laid it out perfectly simply there. I should just start saying that instead now.
I mean, it's really silly when you say it out loud sometimes that a member of a committee in Washington, D.C., whose job is to make sure everything is on the up and up, is getting sued because he's doing his job.
Yep. And the district judge is probably going to see that. And eventually, she's already kind of made moves that are a little bit forceful towards Bragg. She said, Bragg, you're telling me to block a subpoena here, but you haven't even provided me with a copy of the subpoena. She, rejected his initial temporary restraining order that Bragg asked for against Jordan. So, the judge is probably going to be hesitant to really go after or try to stop a member of Congress from doing his job, essentially. But the problem is it just could drag out. It's a bunch of paperwork. It's a legal back and forth now, and those, of course, take a long time. The Trump case itself, is going to drag out definitely into next year.
Yeah.
So it's all just a game at this point to try to prolong matters, it seems.
Just got a couple minutes left here with Ashley Oliver, Breitbart News politics reporter. Ashley, just your overall, you've been covering this from the beginning, the prosecution of not only a previous president, but somebody who is actively running a campaign for 2024 to become president again. And you have Democrats, you have radical Soros-installed DAs actively trying to silence him and stop him from running with a case that's even the talking heads on some of the mainstream liberal outlets say has no merit.
Yeah, absolutely. I just was reading a USA Today op-ed that said, let's hope that Alvin Bragg has more than what's already out there, because a lot of Democrats have been you've noticed they've been pretty muted about this, because they know that this isn't like the strongest case to bring when you're, filing criminal charges against the president for the first time. So, I mean, I think Congress has an important role in this in trying to unearth what's going on here with DAs who may potentially be politicized. And I don't know if you guys knew this, but Jim Jordan is leading a hearing in Bragg's Manhattan district on Monday, where he wants to focus on crime in Manhattan. Because, of course,
and the Democrats are outraged that he's doing this in Manhattan, right?
Yep. And they're bringing in their golden boy, Dan Goldman, who actually represents the district where the hearing's taking place. He's not actually on the committee, but they're bringing him for a special appearance because they, are, and Goldman, of course, is friends with Bragg. He endorsed him in his DA pursuit. But the point is that they're trying to put on the table the fact that there is rampant crime in Manhattan, like there is in a lot of urban places in the country.
Yeah.
But yet Bragg is pursuing aggressively to get Trump indicted here with these 34 counts. Some have argued it's a bootstrapping technique, and he's really going out of his way to do this, while on the back end, there's still, just grim crime statistics in New York City over the last couple of years. I mean, there has been a surge in crime if you look at the statistics since about 2019, and New York City did a big bail reform in 2020, and crime has only grown since then. So Jordan wants to basically show, on one hand, here's what's going on in Bragg's Manhattan, and on the other, this is what's making all of the national headlines. It's him pursuing Trump over $130,000 from 2016. So, I mean, it's important for people to see that, and then they can, vote accordingly in the future,
Anything else you're looking out for at Breitbart? We're speaking with politics reporter Ashley Oliver. What else are you working on?
I think on the horizon right now is what Congress is all back in session. They've been away for 2 weeks over this Easter recess that they typically have, and they're all coming back in session now to hold their hearings and send more letters and all of that. So I think the first thing I'm going to be doing is paying attention to what goes on in Manhattan on Monday. That's going to be, I think it's 9 a.m. on Monday, so it's going to be the first thing that we see next week. And then we'll go from there.
Ashley Oliver, Breitbart, thank you so much. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.
Guys. You too. Thank you so much.
Ready for some beers, my friend?
I brought some beer. I think you're going to like what we have this week.
You have provided the libations.
Let's do it.
Beer Sample Friday, next.
What would you do with a little extra cash? Quick getaway, organic fruits and veggies, mini shopping spree? It's all possible with Stockyards Bank Extreme Checking. Earn 4% annual percentage yield on balances from $1 penny to $10,000 by doing things you already do every day. Just swipe your debit card at least 10 times a month on purchases of at least $5, set up a direct deposit, and enroll in e-statements. Splurging is easier with Stockyards Bank. So what would you do with a little extra? Visit syb.com/extreme to learn more today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I don't like to walk downtown anymore, only when I have to. Even during the day, there's so many out on the street, aggressive. I mean, I feel terrible for them, but at the same time, I don't feel safe. Every night, there's another story on the news, another shooting, something violent. And it's not even in one area, it's all over the city. Just the other day, a woman was robbed at gunpoint at church. At church! I heard that so far this year, our murder rate is higher than Chicago. Chicago! I'm proud of Indianapolis. That's just not what I think of, what I think Indianapolis should be. The only thing I can think to do differently is I have to vote differently, starting now, until it gets better. So I'm going to vote for Shreve in May. Maybe Hogsett gets the message. Or maybe we get a new mayor in November.
Paid for by Shreve for mayor.
It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity during tax season because so much sensitive info is all together.
Before we start the annual meeting of Sean's personal info, has anyone seen Social Security number?
Not me.
Nope.
Nuh-uh.
Oh, no. He's been stolen.
LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. If you become a victim, we'll work to fix it. No one can monitor all transactions, but you can save up to 25% off your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
There's nothing like the freedom of the open road and the bond bikers share here in Indiana. But motorcycle wrecks can result in very serious injuries like a TBI and broken neck.
At Isaacs & Isaacs, we are the attorneys for bikers. We know bikers because many of us are bikers.
So we take motorcycle wrecks personally.
And our team will fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
Click and get help quick at WeWin.com. That's WeWin.com.
Drexel Interiors warehouse sale has tens of thousands in inventory, including flooring at 50 cents a square foot, cabinets, vanities, and more. Thursday through Saturday only, 3217 Shadeland Avenue.
Experience the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach this Sunday, April 16th at 3 o'clock Eastern, live on NBC and Peacock. Watch the fastest cars and the boldest drivers fight to the finish line.
I'd rather be folding laundry.
This is gonna be fun.
Said no one ever. Also, no one enjoys wasting time in traffic. That's why we love saving you time. Matt Baird Traffic.
Backups are already starting.
On 93 WIBC.
Matt Baer has a look at the roads.
Yeah, we are in jail on the northeast side. It is because of crash. Eastbound 465 before I-69. 2 right lanes are blocked. Traffic stopped past Keystone Avenue to Westfield Boulevard. That is 38 minutes from the back of the line. Now we have a crash. It is Penn Pike at Thunderbird. That is south of Sunnyside Road on Penn Pike. Also looking at inbound 70 stop and go before Sherman Drive to Rural Street, Keystone Avenue. Northbound 37 South Harding. Yeah, that stop and go from Edgewood up to 465 because of construction underneath the bridge at 465. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Shop Drexel Interiors for carpet and get free padding. Yes, by carpet, get free padding only at Drexel Interiors. Visit Drexel in Carmel or on North Shadeland. Find Drexel at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
79 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC, and it's Beer Sample Friday.
Right now,
Hammer and Nigel present
Beer Sample
Fry.
I got some beers. Let's drink them, huh?
Beers on sale, people. Come down, get you some.
And we're brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. An entire hour of the Hammer and Nigel show coming up after 6 o'clock. More details on the arrest of that 21-year-old dude who leaked military documents. It doesn't really turn out well for people in this country when they leak and steal military documents, do they?
Well, it turns out well if you leak Supreme Court documents.
Now, that's a good point.
You get away with it. But military documents that show that the war in Ukraine isn't going the way that it's perceived, they'll find your ass quickly.
Oh, man, there's only 12 people it could be for the Supreme Court, right? And a few other ancillary players behind the scenes. They got to this 21-year-old real quick. And again, the military, the United States government doesn't like it when you leak military documents or any sort of, Edward Snowden, who's trapped in Russia for the rest of his life because of this kind of thing. So more details on that coming up. I stopped by. It's been such an awesome week. Great weather. I'm going to hand you the beer I've chosen for today.
Oh, man, this is a warm weather beverage right here. Leinenkugel's Juicy Peach.
Yeah!
Juicy Peach.
Just a couple of men in a room drinking a Juicy Peach lining.
I'm going to read you the description on the can.
All right.
Leinenkugel's Juicy Peach is a refreshing and easy drinking beer that balances delicious sweetness from natural peach juice.
I'm going to... Like, when I really think about it, I think Dylan Mulvaney's face should be on this beer. Probably more than a Bud Light, you know what I mean? But I figured it's been
this would be the audience for Dylan. You're right.
The Liney Beach peach beer, peach juice beer, may be a little more appropriate for the guy that pretends to be a little girl. But you know what? I figured it was such a nice week outside. It's been beautiful. Today is beautiful. We got the big NRA convention this weekend. Tons of people. Lots of money coming into Indianapolis. And I don't know. This one I haven't tasted it yet. So,
dude, let's cheers to the weekend.
And
here
everybody
we go.
in town here.
Good.
It's awesome.
Really good.
Holy crap.
I'm a 45-year-old grown man, and I will sit here and tell you right now, Leinenkugel's peach is good. Real good. Good choice. I'm not even mad at it.
All right, okay.
Not even mad at it.
Okay, so we went a little light on the beer. Maybe next time it'll be something more hardcore.
Did they not have any Zimas, Nige? Were you...
They were fresh out.
Bring the Jolly Ranchers with you next time. Bring some Zimas into the mix.
I'm bringing White Claw next time just for that comment. We'll be right back. It's the Hammer and Nigel show. It's crazy to think this last year, Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus, they've seen their competition doubled, like even tripled in terms of delivery charges. Thompson Furniture still delivers for free within 75 miles. I mean, I'm talking white glove delivery. They set up, they tear down. It's all for free. This team is the best at what they do. We're talking Lazy Boys, Tempur-Pedic, Smith Brothers, huge outdoor furniture selection, guaranteed best prices, and it's delivered for free. Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Thompson Furniture and Mattress, owned and operated by the same family since 1927. And they still have free delivery and setup if you live within 75 miles of their store in Columbus. They've got great prices, they've got amazing customer service, and they support what we do here at the Hammer and Nigel show. So if you need anything for the homestead, make the trip to C-Bus. Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. ThompsonFurniture.net. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Tired of eating at the same old places? Try Jay's Lobster and Fish Market in the Garage Food Hall in the Bottle Works District, downtown Indy. Named one of Indianapolis Monthly's best restaurants in 2021. Jay specializes in lobster rolls, but also serves up incredible crab and shrimp rolls. A New England-style seafood shack, bringing a taste of the East Coast home to Indiana. You've got to try it all. Lobster rolls, lobster mac and cheese, lobster grilled cheese, and more. It's all at Jay's Lobster and Fish Market. Visit today.
Hubler has all the top brands: Chevy, Buick, GMC, Ford, Acura, Honda, Mazda, Nissan, and more. And every new vehicle includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Looking to sell your vehicle? We'll pay you top dollar, even if you don't buy ours. Take it from Brooke Hubler.
You can get a car anywhere, but you can only get a warranty like this at Hubler. 10 years, 200,000 miles.
Visit drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
Warranty available on new vehicles except certain models, not transferable or available on leases. Copy of the warranty is available for review at the dealership.
There's nothing more important than time. Time for you and time for family. If issues like high blood pressure or high cholesterol run in your family, make time for highly skilled heart care too. At Indiana University Health, you can book a same-day appointment with the state's most preferred provider of cardiovascular care. See a top cardiologist today, then get back to what's most important without skipping a beat. Visit iuhealth.org/heart to book your appointment today.
Hey, it's JNV and Spring. It's here at Sundown Gardens in Westfield, and right now, Sundown Gardens has 20% off all container deciduous shade and ornamental trees, including Japanese maples, and all gift decor and Miss Mary's gift shop. Sundown's nursery is overflowing with a great selection of trees. Visit the garden center to find that perfect ornamental, shade, or Japanese maple for your landscape, all 20% off. Visit Sundown Gardens, 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, sundown.gardens.com today.
This is your final chance to get a free furnace from Peterman Brothers.
When you install a qualifying AC system, we'll include the furnace for free.
This deal ends on April 30th, so don't wait.
Visit yourfreefurnace.com to schedule online in seconds.
And we'll install it next day, guaranteed, or we'll give you $500.
That's yourfreefurnace.com to schedule today.
Peterman Brothers, where great service runs in the family. It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Have you noticed that most ice creams now come in smaller cartons? Not Bluebell. We're still making a full half-gallon and a full pint of tasty goodness. Bluebell wouldn't have it any other way.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made
for Bluebell Ice Cream and Needler's Fresh Market and Walgreens. This is Inside Indiana Business Radio, brought to you by MCM CPAs and Advisors, your full-service accounting and advisory firm where people matter, leaders inspire, and excellence rules. I'm Alex Brown. South Bend-based startup Juke will be a big player in tomorrow's Idea Week concert at Notre Dame featuring country star Walker Hayes. Founder and Irish alum Griffin Eaton says having his company's app designed for fan interaction is a testament to its growth potential.
It certainly is validation that this is something that people want to do, not just at a small, say, brewery level or even a 500 cap room, but even at the highest level of concerts.
Fans this week had a chance to vote on their favorite songs by Walker Hayes, who will perform the 2 highest voted songs during the concert. Indiana University says Ash Soni, who has served as interim dean of the IU Kelley School of Business since last July, will continue without the interim tag for the next 2 years. Soni succeeded former Kelley School dean Heidi Kestner, who stepped down from the role to return to the classroom. North Carolina-based Nucor Corporation broke ground today on a $290 million expansion of its steel sheet mill in Crawfordsville. The company says in addition to growing production capabilities, the expansion will create 80 full-time jobs. This is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Indiana, it's time to get revved up. Inside Indiana Business is going racing. We'll be at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the month of May and take you inside the business of motorsports, from gasoline alley to high-tech race shops to small-town dirt tracks. We'll explore what fuels a billion-dollar industry in the state. Join the entire Inside Indiana Business team from the world's greatest race course for Business at the Brickyard. Brought to you by Purdue University. It's checkered flag coverage you won't want to miss.
Columbus Regional Health and the City of Columbus are finalizing a comprehensive master plan for the development of agricultural land in Bartholomew County. The health system said the plan will lay the groundwork for the types of development opportunities at the site. A previous study found that in addition to healthcare, the property could be used for residential, mixed-use commercial and retail, office space, hotel and tourism, and civic, community, and green space uses. The city is expected to begin its process for consideration of adopting the comprehensive master plan this spring, including collecting public input. I'm Alex Brown for 93 WIBC.
Coming up in 2 minutes, what former President Trump is doing in the Circle City, and John Herrick reports on your weekend forecast. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 6 o'clock.
Restrictions